The following presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ESPN.
Welcome to ESPN's Afternoon College Football, delivered by Papa John's. An enormous game in the SEC as 3-1 South Carolina entertains 4-1 and 12th-ranked Ole Miss in front of 80,000 Gamecock fans at Williams-Brice Stadium. First meeting in Columbia in 15 years. And Dusty Dvorak's right in the middle of the pregame festivities in the Cockaboose.
That's right, Dave. It is wild. It is crazy. It's getting loose in the Cockaboose. Even the baby is fired up and excited. And why wouldn't they be? This is a football team that since January has had the belief they're a playoff caliber team and a great chance with number 12 Ole Miss coming into town. This is a defensive-minded South Carolina football team. Gets after the quarterback as good as anybody, creates turnovers as well as anyone in the SEC. Watch the edges today. Kyle Kennard, Dylan Short, one of the best defensive end tandems in all of college football. The bye week was beneficial. They got healthy, especially at quarterback with Lenoris Sellers, who was back this week, a full week of prep, and he's ready to roll today. This crowd today is going to be loud. It's going to be live. It's going to be a great environment for a big-time matchup in the SEC.
From one locomotive to another, the Lane Train, driven by fifth-year Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin, started the season 4-0 against less than stellar competition. Last week, it caught up to the Rebels against a tough Kentucky team and a 2017 loss in Oxford, ending Kiffin's 26-game win streak as a double-digit favorite. We spoke with Kiffin this week, asked him for his thoughts on the loss to Kentucky. He was very concise. He said, quote-unquote, it sucked. He also said it took some time, players and coaches both, to get over that loss to the Wildcats, and now they've got some injuries to deal with here today. With more on that, let's check in with Taylor.
Yeah, and David, there's some notable ones because you heard Dusty talk about how important the edges on the line of scrimmage will be in this game. Well, Ole Miss's best defensive end, Princely Umanmiele, is out for this game, and Centurion Perkins will slide into his spot. And then on the left tackle position on the offensive line, Jaden Williams is also out for the second straight week, and Diego Pounds will slide into his spot for the second straight week. But it's important to note because last week against Kentucky, this Ole Miss offensive line allowed 7 TFLs and 4 sacks, which was a season high. I also want to note there were reports out there that starting running back Henry Parrish Jr. was a game-time decision, but Lane Kiffin just confirmed to me he is good to go, Dave.
All right, Taylor, the first of 2 straight road games for Ole Miss at LSU on ABC next Saturday night. And today against South Carolina, the Gamecocks shooting for their first 4-1 start in 11 years. Kickoff is coming up. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. 85-degree day in Columbia, South Carolina. The 12th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels in town for the first time since 2009. And despite the loss last week, with the expansion of the college football playoff, everything's still in front of Ole Miss. South Carolina won the toss, deferred, so after the touchback, it'll be Jackson Dart at quarterback for Ole Miss, making his 30th consecutive start since transferring from USC, and he comes into this week leading the country in passing yards. 1,815 on the season, and a good chunk of those, almost half, have gone to Trey Harris, who leads the country with 804 receiving yards. He also has 49 catches, had 54 all of last year. On first down, though, Mississippi going to run the ball with Henry Parrish Jr., and it's only a gain of 1. Ole Miss goes as fast as anybody in the country. You'll see him get to the line and snap it normally in a very rapid pace.
That rushing attack going to be a huge factor today, Dave. With that loss last week to Kentucky, they couldn't get the ground game going. A huge point of emphasis here in today's ballgame.
Gain of 2 for Parrish on first down as the second leading rusher in the SEC. Dart from the pocket has a completion, and close to a first down is Jordan Watkins, and they will move the chains. There is a penalty marker down in the backfield, though.
Replay, second down.
Be on Micah Pettis. Edge defenders for South Carolina have been fantastic so far this year. This one's going to be on the true freshman, Dylan Stewart. So long, see that dip, his ability to bend, wrap around the neck. It's a good call and a matchup to pay attention to all afternoon.
So that negates a first down. Second down and 18. And Dart will throw over the middle, and it's almost intercepted by Eman Wari, who already has 2 picks this year, including 1 return for a touchdown.
Well, Eman Wari, one of the best safeties in the SEC, eyes on the quarterback, jumps this route, going to Juice Wells, the former Gamecock. Great anticipation by the junior safety.
Dart in trouble on 3rd and 18 and throws it out of bounds. Penalty marker down. Boy, Antoine Wells was wide open. Dart overshot him. Let's see what the flag's about.
Offside on the defense, number 5. In the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
So that's on Kyle Kennard, who leads the SEC in sacks, free 5 yards. So in the offseason, Nick Eman Wari, who just broke up that pass on Juice Wells. You talked about Wells coming back to South Carolina. He called him Judas. There's some bad blood between former teammates, Juice Wells, and a lot of the South Carolina players. Dart drilled, launches it deep, into coverage, knocked away, incomplete. Going for Wells again, Judge Collier in coverage, and it's 4th down.
We're going to talk about this pressure all day. Kyle Kennard coming off the edge. Good job inside as well. Tonka Hemingway sandwich at the quarterback. And good coverage down the field. Clayton White's defense. It's veteran. Just a really nice job by Collier.
And now Mazin, who punted it 5 times last week, only 4 punts all season prior to the loss against Kentucky. And the fair catch from Juju McDowell. And so, Lenora Sellers back at quarterback for South Carolina, named the starter out of spring ball. And the redshirt freshman from Florence, about an hour and 20 minutes from here, played well, but then got hurt against LSU when the team was up. In fact, they led at one point 17-0 in that game. Robbie Ashford finished the game and started last week, or 2 weeks ago before the bye, against Akron in a 50-7 win. Sellers, with 2 weeks to get healthy, is back and starting. He's a threat as a runner and a passer, and a first down for the Gamecocks from their 27. And his first pass is complete. Out past the 30 is the tight end Joshua Simon. That's his 7th catch of the year.
Really enjoyed talking with Lenora Sellers, as they called him an old soul. Just a redshirt freshman, but very mature, cool, calm, collected, and without question the leader of this offense for South Carolina.
By the way, Oscar Attaway is starting at running back. Rocket Sanders, who was hurt in the Akron game, he is available but will not start. They run Attaway here out to the 32 and stood up there. So just a gain of 2. Attaway had 14 carries. The win over Akron, had just 6 all season prior to that game. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
An excellent Ole Miss defense all year, especially against the run.
Also, Ole Miss gets after the quarterback, 2nd in the country in sacks, number 1 in tackles for a loss. Under the time of the play clock here. They're going to keep it on the ground with Attaway, and he's thrown forward, still short of the line to gain. You wonder if South Carolina is planning on going for it just based on that play call. The offense is staying on the field for 4th down.
Aggressive is what Shane Beamer told us they'd be, but on their own side of the field, Dave. I think you're going to see them bring out the punting. Very conservative play call, just a counter. The Ole Miss defense gets off the field.
Although it is Shane Beamer.
No.
Could have Beamer ball here on 4th down. Let's see, from the 36-yard line. And it is a fake. And they did not get it. They tried. A new chapter at Beamer ball, but the Rebels were better at the point of attack. The direct snap to Maurice Brown, and he was stood up, and the Rebels take over at the 35.
Well, this is punt safe. They got the starting defensive line out there, and it's 89 J.J. Pegues. Watch the knockback he gets on the interior. They're going to try to run this right up the gut, and it's the veteran Pegues who gives no ground, nowhere to go with the football. And an excellent job to be aware and to be ready, and it's Chris Paul off the edge, nowhere to go inside, and a huge stop by the Ole Miss defense.
Jackson Dart back to work. Gonna swing it out in space, and a nice ankle tackle at the 35 on Caden Lee by Collier, so that's a gain of only 1 or 2.
That's one of the keys against this Ole Miss high-octane offense, tackling in open space. Well done by Collier.
They go empty. Parrish is at the bottom of the screen. Dart has a wide open receiver inside the 20 is Caden Lee, and brought down at the 15-yard line. That's a gain of close to 20 and a first down.
A lot of cushion out there side by Judge Collier. Nice job, not in a rush there by Jackson Dart, finding his open target.
In the red zone now, and here's Parrish picking a hole. And gets swallowed up at the 12. So a gain of a couple. Then Gali Kamara, DeAndre Jules in there defensively. Again, you see the tempo of Ole Miss. Quick to the line and quick to snap. Parrish again, inside the 10, inside the 5, and diving close to the first down. At the 4-yard line, and it's going to be first and goal.
The vision there by Henry Parrish, just a zone, cutback lane opens up, and the acceleration through the hole. Nice piece of running by Henry Parrish.
DeAndre Jules shaken up for South Carolina. Ole Miss, after the fake punt doesn't work for South Carolina, on the doorstep to strike first.
Team College Football Playoff begins December 20th on ESPN.
That's how I get by.
And an early loss for Ole Miss obviously keeps the Rebels very much in the playoff conversation. A lot of the South Carolina people we spoke to yesterday, they felt going into the year that the Gamecocks were a playoff contender. They throttled Kentucky, could have beaten LSU, blew a 17-point lead in that game. And early on here against Ole Miss, no score, but the Rebels on the doorstep with a first and goal. Parrish bounces off a defender and in for the touchdown. A costly failed fake punt inside the 40-yard line of South Carolina, and the Rebels make them pay.
Which a good physical piece of running and good interior blocking. See the inside of this, and Caden Lee's going to come across, and he's going to get a key block. Now, he's typically a slot receiver, giving up some size. Watch him as he digs out this linebacker, making just enough of a crease for Henry Parrish to get in the end zone.
That's 9 rushing touchdowns now on the season for Parrish, among the nation's leaders. And the point after makes it 7-0 Ole Miss. 4 minutes and 24 seconds in.
Well, South Carolina tried to play a little beaver ball in the opening offensive possession, dial up a fake punt, but Ole Miss was ready for it. They had punt safe on. The defense gets the stop, and then Henry Parrish pays it off with a tough physical piece of running into the end zone. Big time sequence here from Ole Miss after a quick 3-and-out offensively to get that stop and cash in for a touchdown. Just the start Lane Kiffin was hoping for here on the road.
And considering that in the previous 5 games they had scored on their first drive every possession, 4 touchdowns and a field goal, including a touchdown last week in defeat. As you say, nothing on that opening possession, but they get new life inside the 40-yard line of South Carolina after the failed fake punt, and they score quickly. Ole Miss was number 6 going into that game last week, so they dropped 6 spots in the poll. We mentioned they have to go to LSU next week, that game on ABC. They avoid Alabama, Texas, and Tennessee this year. They still play Georgia, but when you look at the top teams of the SEC, they arguably have the most favorable schedule. So be a touchback, and the Gamecocks will start in their 25.
Let's take a look at some defensive dudes. They're going to be taking place in today's game. Plenty of them on both sides of the ball. Let's start on the defensive side for Ole Miss. Walter Nolan, one of the biggest transfer portal acquisitions of the offseason. He is twitchy, got a great first step, and can create havoc inside. And one of the most productive defensive ends in all of college football to this point. Kyle Kennard, the Georgia Tech transfer, he's been good against the run, against the pass, and become a real leader for this South Carolina defense.
7-0 Rebels. Rocket Sanders in the game. Played just a few snaps against Akron a couple weeks ago. And it's a dump-off pass out in space past the 30 to Joshua Simon, his second catch already. And a first down, gain of 16.
This little play action, dump it out into the flat. See 6 TJ Daugherty got a step too far inside. Allowed enough space for Simon to get to the edge.
6th-year player. South Carolina has 38 seniors on the roster, second most in the country behind Eastern Michigan, so it's a veteran team, obviously. Sellers leaving the pocket, throwing on the run, lobbing it downfield, and it's picked off. Intercepted by John Saunders Jr. at the 40-yard line, but a penalty flag is down, and Ole Miss might get nailed here for pass interference. It was over the head of Gage Larvidan. But the reason could be because of a foul.
And Jaden Kennedy, 28. Column Honey Badger.
Prior to the interception, pass interference on the defense, number 28. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
And he's had 5 penalties coming into this game. It was something that Pete Golding, defensive coordinator, had talked to us about. This has been an issue for Ole Miss throughout the course of the season. It really cost them last week. Too much hand fighting, just too much contact down the field as Larvidan goes to the ground.
It's definitely a penalty, but that ball was overthrown. And Kennedy, as you said, now 6 defensive penalties on him alone. Ole Miss has been its own worst enemy in that regard this year. And here's Rocket Sanders trying for a cutback, and there's no room. TJ Daugherty was there to make the hit as we check in with Taylor.
Well, Dave, all season long, the Achilles heel of this Ole Miss defense has been penalties. So Pete Golding has been desperate to try to figure out how to limit the holding calls in particular. So this is what they did in practice this week. They had all their DBs taped up with tennis balls to prevent from being able to hold. You can still strike, you can still tackle, but you just can't hold onto other jerseys. That's been the problem, so they're trying to clean that up.
Anybody ever do that with you? Is
No.
it nose tackle?
No tennis
Ball comes on the ground. Sellers fumbled it as he faked the handoff to Sanders, and Ole Miss jumped on it at the 40-yard line. It's recovered by Nolan. Check, it was Ashford in the game.
And this is on the exchange. Ashford, Rocket Sanders, and the ball just comes loose as he pulls that back. He never has it fully secured. Walter Nolan on top of the football. An early takeaway here for Ole Miss, getting their offense, the football back in business.
ESPN College Football is delivered by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some. And in part by Burger King. You rule.
Now let's get back to the action with Dave, Dusty, and Taylor.
Different hosts toss it back to us in the day. Never,
That was impressive. Big Bad Wolf there, Dave.
That was not Matt Berry, as far as I know. Speaking of creepy, this right here, ugly, as it was turned over by Robbie Ashford. So essentially 2 turnovers by South Carolina in less than 6 minutes. Ole Miss going to work. Dart, off play action. From the pocket, gets hit, and it's caught. Inside the 35 is Wells. And he's getting booed by some folks here because obviously he played at South Carolina and some bad blood between him and the Gamecocks.
Well, it's a great route here by Juice Wells, working over the middle of the field. Fortune just a step behind, and a dime delivered by Dart.
Danger zone right now for South Carolina. Parrish dropped at the point of attack, dragging TJ Sanders with him maybe for a yard.
It's an important possession here for Clayton White's defense. Got to find a way to get a stop fall down 2 scores to this Ole Miss offense. Not the way you want this game to start.
That's Parrish leaving the backfield. Dart to throw and zips it over the middle, complete. Close to a first down is Jordan Watkins. They haven't even targeted Trey Harris yet in this game. Harris with 49 catches on the year. Dart spreading it around early on.
Well, Charlie Weiss Jr. said they want to distribute the football to more places. Clear emphasis early in this game.
Here's Parrish straight ahead. Down to about the 17 for a 3-yard gain. Henry Parrish, who started his career at Ole Miss, transferred to Miami, then transferred back. That happens more than people realize. There's actually 3 players in this game today who did just that, transferred from the team they're currently playing on at one point. Dart looking, delivering inside the 5. Jordan Watkins pushed back. They'll spot it, though, just inside the 5 after a 13-yard gain. First and goal.
How about the protection here from this Ole Miss offensive line? Plenty of time for Jackson Dart to step up in the pocket, locate Watkins, who comes open over the middle of the field. It's a big question mark coming into this game. The offensive line of Ole Miss, could they get the run game going? Could they protect Jackson Dart? So far, so good. They have really stepped up to the challenge.
Second time that Ole Miss has been inside the South Carolina 5 already here in the opening quarter. Dart fakes the handoff, and his pass is caught. A flag comes flying in as Watkins is out of bounds inside the 1. See what the penalty's about. Watkins did not get into the end zone. At least that's the ruling on the field. In case the penalty's on the defense.
Might be on Juice Wells.
Also, they have to reattach the pylon. You can see there in the corner of your screen.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference. The ball was touched behind the line of scrimmage. Second down.
And that's the distinction. That's a good conversation by these officials. You're going to see Juice Wells going to come in. He's going to set a pick, but that ball's caught right at the line of scrimmage. Freeze it right here, guys. So you're going to get the pick set here. The pick is set, and then this ball is going to get caught right there at the line of scrimmage. It's good discussion by the officials and a no call.
And now Parrish getting the touch, and he did not get in. Drilled Debo Williams, 2-year captain. Preseason second-team All-SEC, first team last year, was in there on the hit. And now it is 3rd and goal, and Ole Miss going to bring in big J.J. Pegues, who has a couple of rushing touchdowns this season. And he is lined up as the tailback behind Jackson Dart, and it's a direct snap to Pegues, and he falls forward into the end zone. 3 rushing touchdowns for Pegues on the year. 13-0 Rebels.
Well, Donald Fortune, the quarterback's only bringing 185 to the table, and J.J. Pegues is every bit of 325, lowers the shoulder, a little spin into the end zone, and it's a big man touchdown to put the Ole Miss Rebels up 2 scores.
We talked to him this week about it. He still feels like an offensive player at heart since he was moved from tight end, but I don't know how many offensive touchdowns you had in your career, Dusty, but he's officially a D lineman now, and he's got 3 rushing touchdowns.
I'm still looking for my first touchdown, Dave. It never happened, but it all was set up by the Robbie Ashford fumble. Walter Nolan gets on top, and the Ole Miss offense cashes in. It's a big man touchdown. All Rebels here early.
Reporting live from a solar eclipse, that be me. Performing thank God and Jimmy Buffett, that's me.
Terry in our college football studio. Update Georgia trying to bounce back after Bama. Trevor Etienne punches it in. Long drive for the Dogs up 7-0 against Auburn.
Well, Nick Saban said today on game day, sometimes when you have a loss early in the year, you end up having your best teams, and maybe that'll be the case with both Georgia and Ole Miss. Good starts for both teams as we look at our impact players delivered by Papa John's.
Well, on the South Carolina side, Rocket Sanders, huge acquisition, was a monster against LSU, only played a couple of series in the last game against Akron. He is back today. They got to get him going. I can't believe we haven't called Trey Harris's name yet. Leads college football in just about every category as a receiver. Ole Miss has still found a way to have a ton of success. They haven't even utilized one of the most dangerous targets in all of college football.
They're up 14-0, and they've outscored their opponents in the first quarter this year, 99-6. And here's Sellers keeping it. And he's out to about the 30 for a gain of 5 as we check in with Taylor.
Dave, Shane Beamer moments ago just gathered up a group of his players and said, I put you in a bad spot by calling that fake punt that did not work. 14 points is not going to win this game, so let's get going. We're still in this.
Taking some ownership of that call. And we knew he was going to roll the dice, and it rolled snake eyes, trying to get his team to respond.
Play action for Sellers, surveying the defense, and his pass is incomplete. It was broken up at the last second. It was intended for Jared Brown. Trey Amos, transfer from Alabama and Louisiana, downfield and covered.
Trey Amos, their best cover cornerback on the back end. It's a really nice job late, getting that hand in there, ripping that ball loose.
Check that it was Brandon Turnage who made the play, number 8, not number 9. 3rd down and 5 at the South Carolina 30-yard line. 4-man rush, and Sellers' pass caught, but short of the line to gain. The ball came out, but they rule that Larvidan was down. It's 4th and 1. Well, Beamer just admitted a mistake last time going with the fake punt, and imagine as he sends the kicking team out here that they will indeed boot it away.
He's got to punt the football here. And this Ole Miss defense, boy, they are locked in. Job on the perimeter. Catch tackle outside. Isaiah Hamilton. Really good sequence here. This Ole Miss defense.
Ty Kroger will boot it deep to Micah Davis. It's a short punt, but a huge bounce. And down goes Davis at the 22-yard line. Kick off your week 5 NFL Sunday with the Countdown Crew. Peyton Manning joining the show. All the latest news from Adam Schefter. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. And how about the fact the Kansas City Chiefs are 4-0 going into the game against the Saints on Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli and Bill Belichick on ESPN2. And Patrick Mahomes has not played his best football. His quarterback rating is like 20th in the NFL. By the way, Archie Manning is going to be on as well, the former Saints quarterback, joining Peyton and Eli on ESPN2.
Peyton, Eli, Archie, Belichick. What's not to love about that, Dave Pasch? Wow.
Just 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL, Kansas City and Minnesota. First down for Ole Miss. Jackson Dart has completed 6 consecutive passes. Gonna run it though, and Parrish nowhere to go. A 2-yard setback. Matt Jones, the running back, grabbed immediately. It'll be 2nd and 12.
And it's the talented true freshman, Dylan Stewart, knifes inside. Naquan Wright unable to block it. Nice negative play.
They go empty here on 2nd and 12. Dart in trouble. Flag comes down, might be holding. Dart's pass caught by Caden Lee, close to a first down. Looks like he has enough, but again, that looked certainly like holding on an offensive lineman.
Holding on the offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 2nd down.
It's Diego Pounds, the North Carolina transfer, starting today for Jaden Williams. This is going to be the right side. It's going to come off the other side. Dylan Stewart had a nice rush as well with the bull. The opposite side gets the call. Kyle Kennard with that patented inside move. And the flag thrown on Diego Pounds.
Kennard has been so good. Transfer from Georgia Tech. The coaches say that they were really surprised by what a leader he is. As Trey Harris has his first target, the ball came out, but it went out of bounds at the 19-yard line. O'Donnell Fortune in coverage. Get a chunk of it back, but it's 3rd and 13.
This is where this crowd, this pass rush has got to come to life. You got to be able to cover and hold up, but can the pass rush get home and disrupt Jackson Dart?
Free play, offside, second time by South Carolina. Dart throws it downfield, and it's knocked down, incomplete by DQ Smith. But it's going to go from 3rd and 13 to 3rd and 8.
Offside, number 6 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
This was an issue against LSU late in that ball game. This 3rd down, you're going to see multiple guys jump off sides. They throw it on Dylan Stewart. It's also Alex Huntley getting too much of a jump. Second time now Jackson Dart's gotten this defensive line with his hard count.
Pressure up the middle. Dart's pass through the hands of Wells. Collier was there defensively. And Ole Miss will have to punt for the second time.
Well, Clayton White's going to dial up a pressure here. We're getting pressure inside. Ball's got to come out just a touch quick, and good coverage on the perimeter by Judge Collier. Had to get a stop there, and South Carolina's defense answers the call.
Frazier Mazin on the punt for the second time with Juju McDowell deep at his 33-yard line. Carolina setting up the return. This is a boomer. Fielded at the 22 by McDowell and dragged down at the 27-yard line after only a 5-yard return. Isaiah Hamilton with the takedown. And now a quick word from Cheez-It.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
So a stop on defense. Let's see what Lenora Sellers can do now. Quarterback for South Carolina. A lot of people think he doesn't get hurt against LSU. They win that game. He's been terrific. Played just 3 games last year as the backup to Spencer Rattler. Back after missing the Akron game 2 weeks ago. See what he does on first down from the 27. And on the rollout, he dumps it off past the 30-yard line to Simon. That's 3 catches already for Simon. Multiple flags come flying in. 3 to be exact. Simon out at the 45 for 18 yards if this play stands. We were talking with Sellers yesterday, and we asked him, other than playing football, what he likes to do. He said he's a big golfer, and he said he compares golfing to playing quarterback because you have to be patient. If you're not patient in golf, your game comes apart. You're not patient as a quarterback, things fall apart around you. He's not a huge NFL guy. He loves college football, but doesn't watch a lot of pro football. But in talking with Shane Beamer, it's his team. The players love him.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 5. Pass interference on the offense. Those fouls offset. Replay, first down.
So replay the down, but Sellers is a guy that, in talking with him yesterday, soft-spoken, well-spoken, very nice young man, but a different attitude when he's in the locker room. He's got a fiery personality around the guys. And again, Shane Beamer said he won over the team in spring. That's why we named him quarterback as early as we did, even knowing there, in the eyes of some, was a battle to be had between Robbie Ashford. Ashford had the fumble earlier in the game. And here's Attaway straight ahead, not much. Maybe 2 brought down by Daugherty.
He was really impressive to talk to yesterday, as we touched on. Cool, calm, collected, just even keel. One thing Shane Beamer said, he is a fierce competitor. Don't let that demeanor get it twisted. Loves to compete, put in a lot of work to get out here and lead this football team this afternoon.
Run play here past the 30-yard line. Attaway again knocked down a couple of yards short of a first down. Here's Taylor.
Impressed after Ashford fumbled. Sellers was the first one who approached him and said, it's okay, we still have a long way to go. So not only is he in command of this offense, but his backup in Ashford, he was right.
All right, good stuff, Taylor. Sellers, the coaches say, can handle the burden of being a quarterback in the SEC. And that right there is a great example of that, what he said to Robbie Ashford. 3rd and 2 on the South Carolina 35. They're going to run it. Attaway first down. Out to the 40 for 5 yards. Ivy on the tackle.
It's a nice job on the right side. Torricelli Simpkins bump down up to the second level to help spring Attaway for a first down, and that's who this South Carolina offense is. They put in a lot of work, brought in a lot of pieces to help run the football more effectively. And to get back in this game, I like the not panicking from Dow Loggins, going to continue to do what they do well and try to run the football.
Attaway between the tackles. Good push up front. Perkins on the tackle, filling in for the injured Princely Umanmiele, and a big loss today on the D-line for Ole Miss. And that's 7 yards for Attaway.
Seeing Suntarine Perkins play a lot more. Now, Suntarine Perkins, he's sudden, really good pass rusher, but he lacks a lot of size coming off the edge. Curious to see if they try to attack him throughout the course of this game in the run game.
In there on first and second down, as you say, and those run downs at 210 pounds as a DN/outside backer. 2nd and 3. Sellers throws, and that was a bullet. Off the mark, intended for true freshman Mazio Bennett. 3rd and 3.
Now, one thing we haven't seen much of so far, Lenore Sellers as a runner. We've mentioned he's a big body guy, 6'3", 242. Third, very manageable. Got to think some quarterback run game, a definite possibility here on 3rd down.
3rd and short has not been good to South Carolina so far in this game. They've gotten the 4th and 1 twice. Didn't convert either. Jump pass is caught for a first down by Bennett. All the way to the 37 for 17 yards.
Listen, good find here by Lenore Sellers. He's patient in the pocket as he's going to have his true freshman wide receiver, Mazio Bennett, come open right in the middle of the field. Protection's good. They pick up the twist game. And a good first down.
And right back to the ground attack. Attaway getting a lot of work here early on. The transfer from North Texas brought down by Xavier Harris after a short pickup on the final play of the first quarter. A quarter dominated by Ole Miss, but the Gamecocks with their best drive of the game right now. See if they can punch it in when we start quarter number 2 in Columbia. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. From Columbia, South Carolina, ESPN's afternoon college football delivered by Papa John's. 14-0, Ole Miss in front. South Carolina on the move with Rocket Sanders running downhill to the 32 for 3. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Time now for our sideline report presented by Chili's.
Coach, after some aggressiveness early, what's the key to getting back into this game?
Just settle down. I screwed us and put us in a bad spot on that fake punt. And then we had the turnover when we were driving. I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, just settling down, playing football. It's a 4-quarter game. Need to be able to continue to run the ball well like we're doing right now and then be able to get off the field on defense 3rd down.
Thanks, Coach. Dave?
Although on that play, they tried to run Rocket Sanders, and he only got about a yard. Suntarine Perkins holding up at only 210 pounds.
Was an excellent job. As you referenced, he's given a lot of weight, setting that edge nice and firm. Right here, just going to fight, working on a tight end. Good defense right there, building the wall you expect with that call going for on 4th down. I agree with the call here.
4th and 3. Sellers in trouble, hit and sacked back at the 42 by Nolan. So a failed 4th down fake punt in the first quarter, and now a failed 4th down and 3 to start the second quarter.
We call this an exit. It's going to be a game inside. Suntarine Perkins going to come inside first, and then you're going to see the loop here by Walter Nolan. He's going to come tight, he's going to come clean, and he's going to get a big 4th down sack. Work inside. That edge is nice and clean. He can get to Lenore Sellers. Also good inside pressure by J.J. Pegues. This defensive line of Ole Miss, it's been really good all season and very good here once again this afternoon. Huge stop once again by the Rebels defense.
He also created a turnover, a fumble in the first quarter. Here's a pitch to Parrish off the left side. Run out of play at the 43-yard line. Well, when we talked with Lane Kiffin early in the week, He said his team wasn't over what happened at home against Kentucky a week ago in a 20-17 loss. It looks like they put that behind them just the way they played here. Very spirited start to this game for the Rebels. Parrish trying to squeeze through a hole on 2nd and 7 and gets maybe 3 yards. Hemingway on the tackle.
Credit these players. They had both an offensive and defensive team meeting after the loss on Sunday. J.J. Pegues headed up the defensive side. Jackson Dart the offensive side. Wanted to put that game behind him and focus on what's in front.
They were just 1 of 10 on 3rd down. It's a big reason they lost that game against Kentucky. They had the ball for just over 20 minutes in that game.
Trey Harris up top.
Dart going to keep it after faking the jet sweep, and Dart bottled up. Did not get the first down, about 2 yards short. Nick Emanwori there first. Let's see what Lane Kiffin does on 4th down.
Very interesting here. Lane looks like he's going to be aggressive.
You like it?
But as well as your defense has been playing, you could pin them back and make them go the length of the field. This is Lane Kiffin saying, I trust my offense in all situations. More conservative, Dave, I'd punt the football, but Lane Kiffin, he's keeping this offense on the field.
ESPN analytics say go. So they agree with Coach Kiffin. They put Pegues at running back. He had the touchdown run, and now instead it's a jet sweep. Parrish trying to get the edge, and he does not. Dragged down at the 48 by Jalen Kilgore, as Ole Miss now turns it over on downs.
Well, they wanted to go jet sweep and get Henry Parrish out on the edge. How about the speed by Jalen Kilgore to track this down and get a huge stop for his defense? Kilgore just going to run with this motion. Henry Parrish gets the football, and it's a foot race. Kilgore keeps outside leverage, gets the ball carried down, and Gamecocks with the ball back.
Well, ESPN Analytics said go. Joe Judge, who's an analyst at Ole Miss and helps Lane Kiffin out with those analytical decisions, obviously told Coach Kiffin to go for it. They fail, and now South Carolina breaking free as the quarterback, Lenora Sellers, stepping out of play inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. That's the biggest play of the day for South Carolina on offense.
Well, Brady Hunt's going to come across, and he's going to get a key block on the cornerback to help spring this run. Nice job with the mesh by Lenora Sellers. Key block by Hunt on Amos. And the biggest chunk play we've seen this afternoon from the South Carolina offense. Got to get him going in the run game, Dave. Lenora Sellers is a real weapon. And this is a situation here with Walter Nolan limping off the field.
Ole Miss has been accused the last few weeks of guys going down, trying to stop the other team when it has momentum as opposed to a legit injury. That's speculation. Obviously, no one can confirm that. That's just a narrative that has been out there the last few games for Ole Miss. And wow, Sellers absolutely walloped that time. Back at the 19-yard line by Pegues.
J.J. Pegues, he's already shown you what he can do as an offensive player. He's just going to take a V-line. He's got versatility. He plays inside at D tackle. Now they move him out to defensive end. And a big tackle for loss by the big man.
So it's 2nd and 13 now. 6.5 tackles for a loss for Pegues. Spent 2 years at Auburn before transferring back to Ole Miss. He grew up in Oxford. Sellers from the pocket, everybody covered. So Sellers going to take off and goes out of bounds. He should have thrown the ball. He was outside the pocket. Freshman mistake. Took the sack, loses 2 yards instead of just flipping it forward through the neutral zone out of bounds.
Yeah, mistake by Lenora Sellers, but this good vision by T.J. Doddard. He's back in zone coverage. Sees that Lenora Sellers is going to declare to be a runner, comes up and escorts the quarterback out of bounds. Now you're exactly where this offense doesn't want to be in 3rd and super long.
3rd and 15 at the 22. Again, Sellers leaving the pocket and throwing end zone incomplete through the hands of Joshua Simon. could not come down with it, and it's 4th down. Another injured Ole Miss defensive lineman back at the 32-yard line, and it's Pegues that's shaken up this time.
This Ole Miss defensive line already coming in short-handed. No Uman Mielen to start the game. Pegues goes down. Walter Nolen, by the way, does just walk back onto the field. And Cam Banks down to the end zone. Coverage on Joshua Simon. Some contact there, but no flag.
So now a 32-yard field goal try from Alex Herrera, who's 6 of 8. Check that, a 40-yard field goal, excuse me. Herrera's made a 46-yarder this year, 60-year player from right here in Columbia, trying to get the Gamecocks on the board. And it's good. 14-3 Ole Miss, 5 minutes into the second quarter. Obviously, Hurricane Helene was wreaking damage on the Southeast. A lot of rain, wind, power outages here in Columbia, South Carolina. Some people still without power in this area. And you can help people affected by Hurricane Helene by donating at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover, and watch special editions of ABC's Good Morning America tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday as they spotlight communities across the Southeast impacted by Hurricane Helene and their recovery efforts. We mentioned people without power. Shane Beamer was up without power for 4 days, and also said that some big trees fell in his driveway that they couldn't get out of the house. They had to call people to come over with chainsaws to cut the trees and get rid of the debris so Coach Beamer could go to work and coach the Gamecocks. Touchback, it'll come out to the 25, and we go to Matt Berry in the studio.
All right, guys, a little bit of a developing situation. One gets caught up on Vandy and Alabama. Bama coming off the big win against Georgia a week ago. Cedric Alexander muscles his way in for the touchdown, 7-0. Then moments ago on defense, Randon Fontenette. Watch this. Tip, pick, Oski 6. Extra point, no good. Vandy up 13-0 on Alabama.
Wow. Nick Saban today was talking about Kalen DeBoer putting the rat traps around the facility this week to honor Coach Saban. Don't fall for the rat poison after the big win, as Henry Parrish Jr. is out to the 29-yard line. Vanderbilt, though, is not the Vanderbilt we've seen the last few years. Much better. We almost saw them beat Missouri earlier this year, and they knocked off Virginia Tech.
Diego Pavia has injected some life into that offense and into that football team.
Meanwhile, Reese McIntyre, center for Ole Miss, shaken up. Saw a couple players go down on defense on the last possession, but both Pegues and Nolen are okay, we're told. McIntyre still being tended to at the 25-yard line. Caleb Warren for Ole Miss is available. He's been banged up. He's played some center, obviously, and he could go in here for McIntyre if it's a lengthy injury. All right, while we have a moment as they look at Reese, let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by AT&T. Mentioned that Vanderbilt's up 13-0. Texas doesn't play this week, but plays Oklahoma in the first SEC meeting next week. You got Ohio State up on Iowa, Tennessee, Arkansas, ABC Prime, Georgia, Auburn is underway, 7-3 Georgia. The last time I saw that. Oregon, a big win last night. Penn State beat UCLA earlier today. Miami at Cal tonight, 10:30 Eastern time.
How about the thumping today in College Station? With Mike Elko hitting the bye, 5-1 now on the season with a big top 10 victory. It was an impressive performance, to say the least, by the Aggies.
And how about the scene in Berkeley today for game day?
Oh, it was incredible.
A 6 a.m. local time, and the place is packed.
He had Saban take his tie off
and put on a Cal-colored tie, much to the chagrin of Stanford Steve, who would not get rid of the all-red Stanford outfit. I don't blame him. 2nd and 6, and here's Parrish, and it's a first down. It is Caleb Warren that's in the game for McIntyre at center. Gain of about 10 on that last run for Parrish.
And he's got starting experience, was a starter quite a bit of the season last year. What a luxury to have him back healthy and able to step in back-to-back plays with big runs.
Dart throws, off target, incomplete, trying to hit Trey Harris. It's the second time they've thrown it Harris's way. Slow to get up that time was Micah Pettis, the right tackle.
Harris had 15 targets a week ago. Interesting, we have not seen him a large part of today's game plan.
Just the one catch for 9 yards so far. Dart 7 of 11 passing. Throw it again here. Pressure on. Hit as he throws it deep. And Harris pulls it in at the 20. Harris dragged down at the 5-yard line. Boy, Dart hung in there and delivered a strike on a go route for 56 yards to Harris.
Well, it's all about the route, and it's a stutter and go. He's going to act like it's a hitch. He gets Fortune to commit. Behind the defender, an easy toss for Jackson Dart. An explosive play for this offense.
Third time it's been 1st and goal from inside the 5. Parrish on the cutback, lunges forward. He's ruled down though at the 1. The knee went down before he stretched the ball out and got it across. 2nd and goal, tackled by Bam Martin Scott.
That's what they weren't able to do a week ago. They weren't running it. They weren't getting the explosive plays down the field. A huge chunk throw from Jackson Dart to one of the best receivers in college football, Trey Harris.
Some movement on the offensive line for Ole Miss. Multiple players in the backfield there in a funky looking formation.
False start. 71 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Nate Kalepo, the left guard. So 4 penalties already on Ole Miss, and that will back them up to about the 6-yard line. So this is the play on 1st down where Parrish was ruled down. You see the knee down before he reached out, stretched the ball across. Straight ahead is Matt Jones. Gets back to the 1, but not in. It'll be 3rd and goal. Tackled by Martin Scott again. And the Rebels right to the line. Big hit in the backfield. Jones goes down at the 2. Dylan Stewart was there first for South Carolina. And Gali Kamara there too. They lose a yard. It's 4th down.
Right there to take the points here, Dave. Lane Kiffin recognizes he is trying out the field goal team. Bend but don't break defense there by the Gamecocks. Excellent penetration to create that negative play.
Ooh, Jackson Dart really upset. Don't know if he's just upset they didn't get in the end zone or that they're kicking here instead of going for it. So just a 20-yard field goal try from Caden Davis. His first attempt of the game, and now a timeout by Lane Kiffin with a play clock down at 3. Wonder if that's the reason he called the timeout or if he's thinking of changing his mind.
30-second timeout.
Ken, we mentioned you got Joe Judge helping out in these situations. Time management, clock management.
Big stop on 3rd down to get us in the spot. Off of both sides. Dylan Stewart off of one edge, Kamara off the other. Nowhere for the former walk-on Matt Jones to go. This is interesting here. Jackson Dart, as you referenced, he was not happy. Able to convince his coach to change his mind.
Dart's got his helmet back on. It was off, but he's buckling up the chin strap. Well, they had a failed 4th down earlier. Do you like if he does change his mind this move, or would you just kick it here and take the points?
Look, he continues to put faith in his offense. You went for it on your own side of the football right around midfield. With the way his defense has played for the majority of the day, actually fine with him electing to go for it. He's going to change his mind. Boy, Jackson Dart must have made a pretty good plea as he went off to the sidelines to his head coach.
It was clear in talking with Lane Kiffin this week, he has full trust in Jackson Dart, obviously allowing him to be part of the decision-making in this situation. 4th down and goal at the 2.
Jackson Dart is a tough physical runner.
Now a timeout by South Carolina. Once they saw the formation. Midway point of the second quarter, 14-3 Ole Miss. Longtime NFL coach Joe Judge helping Lane Kiffin in these situations. Always good to have an extra set of eyes in terms of analytics. They were going to kick the field goal, but then they decided to change it and go for it on 4th and goal at the 2. The two teams are combined 0 for 3 already on 4th down. And you want a Dart run here?
We have not seen much of Jackson Dart as a runner. He is physical. Also got the big man, J.J. Pegues, in there.
Dart moving over like he was going to
direct snap to Pegues.
They did that earlier and scored on it, so that was just the fake of the direct snap. Play clock is down to 5. I don't quite understand that. Even if you get South Carolina to jump, it's still 4th down. Not sure why you waste the timeout there or take the flag and just kick the field goal. Just either go for it or kick it at that point, right?
Yes.
All that. I mean, that was
a lot.
7 or 8 minutes.
Yes.
Nothing happened.
A couple of timeouts, 5-yard penalty.
Well, like you said, maybe he changed his mind again after South Carolina saw the look, called the timeout. Caden Davis nails the 24-yarder, and that extends the Ole Miss lead. 17-3 now.
We've had some crazy moments. Little Beamer ball early, denied by the Ole Miss defense. Cashed in for 6 after the stop. Robbie Ashford put it on the ground. And Ole Miss, J.J. Pegues gets into the end zone, points off of turnovers. One of 2 4th down stops by Ole Miss here this afternoon. South Carolina says anything you can do, we can do too. Kilgore at the big 4th down stop. And then Lane Kiffin, after much debate in his own mind, elects to kick the field goal and take the 2-touchdown lead.
Ole Miss 4-1, won 11 games last year, lost only 2. Dropped 6 spots in the rankings this week to number 12 after the home loss to Kentucky. South Carolina, meanwhile, 3-1 for the first time since 2017. The last time the Gamecocks were 4-1 was back in 2013. They won 11 games that year, finished ranked in the top 5. That kick was drilled. And a touchback. Let's check in with Matt.
All right, guys, it appears the cut-in jinx got Vanderbilt, because as soon as we gave them the 13-0 lead, Jam Miller's like, that's adorable. We're Alabama. 13-7. March right down the field over on SEC Network.
Alabama back in it. Number 1 team in the country after the win over Georgia. One of the most exciting finishes. All the people saying that the expansion of the college football playoff is going to take away from regular season games. That game says nope.
12 million people say it's okay. Unbelievable finish. What a game.
It has certainly enhanced every regular season game going to 12-team play. Here's Oscar Attaway. It's interesting, we have not seen a lot of Rocket Sanders. They told us he was good to go after injuring his ankle against Akron early on in that game. He was an all-SEC running back 2 years ago at Arkansas, had almost 1,500 yards in that game, but it's mostly Oscar Attaway in this game. Just picked up 4 yards as you look at our schedule for the rest of the evening, including Clemson starting to get it going here. Cade Klubnik playing really well of late. At FSU, Attaway again, ripped down at the 30-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain. Jared Ivey comes up injured. Turnage in there on the hit. That's another defensive lineman that goes down for Ole Miss, and the Gamecock fans are not thrilled with that. Again, we've seen this a lot this season from Ole Miss, and it's hard to have any idea whether some of this is just guys because of the humidity needing hydration. How much of it is it to slow down the offense? Gamesmanship, you want to use that word.
Sometimes it seems pretty obvious. Other times I don't like to speculate on injuries. Like Brandon Turnage took out the legs of Jared Ivey. There's clearly been instances this year with Ole Miss, with other teams, where you really raise the question, is that legit or is it not? I'm not one for faking injuries to try to buy time. No clue if that's what was going on there with Jared Ivey.
So 3rd and 5 now. Lenora Sellers from the pocket, dumps it off, and nice adjustment to make the catch. Joshua Simon, who's got 4 catches, he had 6 all season coming in. Penalty flag down in the secondary. And South Carolina's backing up.
Pass interference on the offense, number 8. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
It's on Nick Harbor, and that negates a South Carolina 1st down.
You see Nick Harbor, he's going to run this route, and he's basically going to set a pick on Chris Paul. He's got to continue to run his route. Pretty easy call for the official, and it negates what would have been an important 1st down for South Carolina. Nick Harbor still trying to learn how to play receiver. So big and so fast, an All-American track guy, 10-100 meter, but still learning the ins and outs and the nuances of playing receiver.
That's a costly penalty now. It's 3rd and 20. See if Ole Miss brings some heat. Instead rushes 3. Sellers with time, everybody covered. Sellers on the move, and now commits to be a runner, and is past the 20-yard line before he's shoved out at the 23 by Daughtery. Gain of 8, but it's 4th down, and South Carolina will have to punt. Still plenty of time for Ole Miss to do something when it gets the ball back. 2 timeouts and the benefit of the 2-minute timeout.
And Pete Golding collecting to play coverage there, dropping 8. Nobody open down the field. Lenora Sellers was buying as much time as he could, but couldn't find a receiver to come open.
Another punt from Kai Kroger with Micah Davis deep. This is a moonshot from the 23. Davis made the first man miss and then wrapped up at the 30-yard line by Ronnie Porter. Now, Lane Kiffin went to the transfer portal to do some fishing. Princely Umanmielen, transfer from Florida, he's out today. Chris Paul Jr. has been great. Transferred in from Arkansas. Trey Amos from Alabama. He's got a pick already this year. And Walter Nolan, who's had a terrific game already today with a fumble recovery and a sack.
Several fish on the line for Pete Golding, Lane Kiffin, and as we were told by the staff, one of the biggest recruiters was the quarterback, Jackson Dart. Helped with all those guys getting a compliment on the opposite side of the ball.
Play action for Dart. Moving to his left, being chased. And Dart throwing it deep, and it is incomplete. Intended for Wells. Judge Collier, who's played a terrific 1st half, broke it up.
Well, he sure has, Dave. Collier has answered the bell several times here today. And initially, it looks like Juice Wells has a step. Pass a little bit behind, allows Collier to make up and get his hands on that football.
We have not seen a lot of barking back and forth between Juice Wells and his former teammates at South Carolina. We expected that. Shane Beamer expected that, made sure to address it with his team early this week. So far, they've listened to their coach. On 2nd down, Dart throws complete. Harris, the wrong guy to leave open, and it's a 1st down, a gain of 14 for Harris. And Harris is down now holding his ankle. Trey Harris, who's caught more than 50 passes on the year and leads the country in receiving yards. Quiet first quarter, starting to go his way here in the second quarter, with Dart finding him a few times, and now down after that pickup of about 15.
A lot of cushion outside, the speed out to an open Harris, and you didn't see anything initially. It's taken to the ground. Oh, Debo Williams came down on that ankle. Trey Harris, such an integral part of this Ole Miss offense.
And been a great season for Harris, a transfer from Louisiana Tech, been one of the best receivers in the country statistically. Gives the Rebels a first down despite having to lead. 4.5 to go here in the first half. 17-3 Ole Miss. Dart has a completion to midfield to Watkins. Fortune made the hit after a gain of 5.
Easy pitch and catch there from Jackson Dart to his slot receiver. Jordan Watkins, speed out, in playing soft, will take the 5 yards.
Dart throwing again, this time to Williams, and a nice open field tackle by Kilgore on Wells at the 48-yard line. So just a gain of 2 for Juice Wells, and it's third down for Ole Miss.
We've seen Kilgore a couple of times today come up and run support. This time the screen on the edge and a nice tackle.
South Carolina coming after Dart on third down. Deep shot going for Wells. Wells adjusts but can't make the catch. Kilgore in coverage. Fourth down.
Was a good play here by Kilgore. He's in trail defense, and instead of making contact with the receiver, he slips inside. You can see Juice Wells is trying to come back for that football, and a lot of times that defender gets caught in a bad spot. He creates that contact, but Kilgore wisely able to prevent the contact. No flag.
Lezin to punt. And the fair catch made by Kilgore at the 6 as we go to Taylor.
We knew there was bad blood between this South Carolina team and Juice Wells, and credit to Juice Wells, he has held his emotions in check. I can hear the South Carolina DBs yelling at him, getting into his face, so they're certainly holding on to that bad blood, but Juice Wells has been able to hold his composure.
And the Ole Miss coaches have said that Wells has been great since coming there. He's been a hard worker and has been a leader as well. But obviously his former teammates have some issues with him after his departure from the Gamecocks late last season. He was an all-SEC player here in Columbia 2 years ago. So South Carolina backed up on the 6-yard line, and they're just going to run it here to McDowell. And he's thrown forward to the 9. 3 minutes to play, 2 timeouts left, and the 2-minute official timeout ahead.
With linebackers, Chris Paul, TJ Daugherty been all over the field. And to give credit to this front of Ole Miss, but really the entire front 7 has been able to win the line of scrimmage and keep this Gamecock rushing attack in check.
South Carolina goes to Tuscaloosa next week for the first time in 15 years, then at Oklahoma the week after that. So a huge game, trying to avoid an 0-2 start at home in conference play. Sellers on the move to his left, the flag down, and Sellers steps out of bounds. Gain of about 3, but it's coming back. Another injury for Ole Miss. It's Walter Nolan again.
Holding, number 52 on the offense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Replay, second down.
That's on Kamar Bell.
And Kamar Bell working on Walter Nolan. He's been very active throughout the course of this game. Comes late in the rush. Once Lenore Sellers tries to go get that extension, you see the grab and draws the flag.
So 2nd and 11 after the penalty, back at the 5-yard line. That's McDowell, the running back, lined up in the end zone. McDowell straight ahead into a wall at the 8-yard line, led by Daugherty, and another penalty marker.
Sideline warning against the South Carolina bench.
So it'll be 3rd down and 8 at the 8 of South Carolina. Ole Miss hoping to get the ball back.
Game clock to 2 minutes, 11 seconds.
And that could actually
1.
be significant because you're 11 seconds away from that 2-minute timeout. If Ole Miss can get the ball back on this side of the 2-minute timeout, would have an extra stoppage, try to go down the field and get points before halftime. And they run the clock, though, and that takes care of that. 2-minute timeout. 3rd down for South Carolina when we come back.
I'm Matt Barry. Coming up in the Lexus halftime report, Vandy with the dandy going on right now against Alabama, plus Texas A&M runs wild over Mizzou. And how about high fives for our service academies? What a great start for both Army and Navy. We'll have that and more coming up on the Lexus halftime report.
All right, Matt, 3rd down. Only 7 pass attempts for Lenora Sellers in this game and only 1 in the 2nd quarter. Let's see if the coaching staff lets him throw the ball here with the Gamecocks backed up. They will from his end zone. And Sellers has a completion, but the momentum of Jared Brown takes him to the ground. 4th down, and Lane Kiffin will call a timeout. South Carolina is going to have to punt it.
They finally dial one up and get a wide receiver wide open. Jared Brown returned this week after a hamstring, wide open.
Please reset the game
just
clock.
Stumbles
to 1
going
minute,
forward.
53 seconds.
Unfortunate slip there. There was a lot of green grass out in front for Jared Brown.
Wouldn't you say, though, a better throw when he's not in that situation?
Yes.
You saw him have to adjust to that, just could not regain his feet. And now Ole Miss will have 1 timeout and a decent amount of time with the ball likely near midfield after the punt. Mike Kroger about 2 yards deep in his end zone with Micah Davis at the Ole Miss 40. Kroger did have a punt blocked earlier this season. And gets that one away. And the fair catch made at the 41-yard line. That's a 45-yard punt. The Taco Bell Live Más student section. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. We had Dusty and the Cockaboose with all the Gamecock fans before the game. These shots were early on. It's been quiet here since the early going. Just nothing really happening besides penalties and 4th down failures. No explosive plays really by either team. And obviously, it's the visiting team that's leading by 14 points with possession once again. And Jackson Dart stepping up and running. And Dart into South Carolina territory, diving for a 1st down.
Well, that was designed. They had Matt Jones leading up on the linebacker. Nice play call and a nice run from Jackson Dart.
Dart hit from behind, but gets away from Kyle Kennard. And now Kennard catches up to him and takes him down. Penalty marker on the field. A loss of about 7.
Holding, number 57 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 1st down.
That would have been 6.5 sacks for Kennard on the year, but they'll take the penalty.
Well, it starts with Dylan Stewart. He's going to win off the edge, and then Kennard is going to clean it up. Micah Pettis over there at leg tackle. He gets called for this hold.
Couple penalties now on Pettis. So 1st and 20. They're just going to run it. Matt Jones with room. Gets back to the line of scrimmage originally anyway. Gain of 10. He Eman Wari on the tackle. Clock is moving, and now an injured South Carolina player, and it's Eman Wari shaken up. By the way, Reese McIntyre is back in the game at center for Ole Miss. That's good news for them. He was hurt earlier in the quarter.
Eman Wari is such a key to the back end of this defense. Leighton White called him Nick the Eraser. He's able to tackle and come in late.
Eman Wari, who is the leading tackler, started 28 games, third team preseason, all SEC. You see him flexing his fingers on his right hand there. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Ole Miss.
With an injury to the defensive team and the clock running, there's an option for a 10-second runoff. Ole Miss has declined that option. The clock will start on the snap. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute 8 seconds. 1:08.
Shane Beamer knows this is a critical minute and 8 seconds here for his team. Already trailing by 14. Here's Jones again, and this time it's tripped up by Sanders, so just 3 yards there. 3rd down.
Ole Miss being pretty conservative right here. This clock dipped down under a minute, Dave.
Dart with a defender at his feet, throws it downfield, and it's caught. Jordan Watkins inside the 10. Watkins all the way to the 2. What a play by Jackson Dart. He had a pass rusher at his ankles, and he still got that throw downfield.
With poise in the pocket, defender at his feet, no problem, and a blown coverage down the field.
Jones dives. He bounces off the turf, but he got the ball across for a touchdown.
But they go fast after an explosive play, get on the football. South Carolina on their heels. A nice hole for Matt Jones to run through. Put an exclamation point to close out this half for Ole Miss.
Well, Matt Jones with 4 rushing touchdowns.
Previous play
Landed
is
on the
under
ball.
further
May have
review.
hurt himself on that play. You saw him
touchdown.
walk gingerly after he got up for the touchdown. Ball clearly across. They are looking at this, but you see there the ball was across before the knee went down.
Yeah, that's what I saw. It's like his thigh hits the ground right as the ball is crossing the plane. Matt Jones, what a great story he is, Dave. Former walk-on, continued to work and work and work. Broke out in fall camp, and he's become a key piece of this rushing attack for Ole Miss.
And what a response today by Ole Miss after the loss. Again, it was interesting listening to Nick Saban talk today. He said he texted Kirby Smart. They obviously worked together at Bama. Texted Kirby Smart after Georgia got beat by Alabama last week. And he said to him, hey, sometimes these aren't the worst things, especially in this new playoff era. You have a loss early in the year. Saban said our best teams were usually when we lost early in the year because it wakes everybody up. Maybe that loss to Kentucky at home was a wake-up call for Ole Miss.
Feels like it today. Boy, they are focused. They have shown up. And they have played very well on both sides of the football. They take a long time to look at this, Dave.
Ole Miss, again, looking at the schedule ahead. They don't play Bama. They don't play Texas. No Tennessee. No Missouri. I know Mizzou got throttled today at A&M. But a favorable schedule, relatively speaking. So can you see that the knee is down? The ball does look short of the goal line.
Great sequence.
The only thing is the angle is not right down the line. Is that enough to overturn the ruling on the field? You think that that is indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt? based on the angle again. It's not right down the line. So you can't really tell if the ball's across or not.
Initially, I did not think it was that close, but what we're looking at right there, David, looks like he's just a little bit short.
A lot of times when it takes this long, not saying it's the case here, but a lot of times when it takes this long, it's because it's getting overturned. They got to figure out, okay, what down is it? Where do we spot the ball? How much time's on the clock? Or this could just be a situation where they're not 100% sure. And again, the rule book says you have to be to overturn the ruling on the field of a touchdown. Referee is David Smith. Our replay official is Mitchell Wilkins. Well, Mitchell looked better than you and I did when he came in today. He was all dressed up in his suit and tie.
Yes, he was. Ready to go. Everybody was excited about this matchup here today. They finally got an answer to this.
Boy, I hope so. Taking long enough.
After further review, the runner was down prior to the ball crossing the goal line. The ball will be placed at the half-yard line. With the overturn, there is a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 34 seconds and then reset to 24 seconds. The clock will start on the ready.
Again, the Ole Miss has a timeout. They can call it if they want.
It's a nice job of piecing that together, Dave. The two different angles at the exact same moment. That's the evidence you needed to overturn that call.
And you get basically
South Carolina has chosen to use the timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff.
Basically explains why it took so long. They had to figure out, okay,
34.
How much time's on the clock with the runoff? What down is it? Where to spot the ball? So that's the reason it took as long as it did, along with the fact that they wanted to be 100% sure, because you have to be to overturn that ruling on the field. It did take a long time, but they got it right, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line for Mississippi. We'll see if they just give it to Matt Jones again.
J.J. Pegues back in this ball game as well.
Been over 5 minutes since that last play. They went for a touchdown real time. Pegues, by the way, does have a touchdown already in this game. They faked the direct snap to him the last time they were in this situation and ended up just taking a delay of game and kicking a field goal.
Here we go.
That's Pegues there on the right side, the last guy in the huddle there, big number 89. 6'2", 325 pounds, and they direct snap it to him again, and Pegues, oh, nifty move with the feet and into the end zone for the touchdown. Making every defensive lineman in this broadcast booth jealous.
Yes, I am, Mr. Bash. Yes, I am. We asked J.J. Pegues what he enjoyed better, sacks or touchdowns. He said whatever. They're going to bring both of these guys around. And then watch the feet, the former tight end. With the little sidestep, whoop! Avoids the defender and strolls into the touchdown. It's been that kind of day for Ole Miss here on the road.
His 2nd touchdown of the day, 4th of the season. That is a huge score by the Rebels at the end of the half. It's now 24-3 with 31 seconds to go.
There was a big pass play that set this entire thing up. On the outside, a double move by Jordan Watkins. Donald Fortune caught inside. That was an excellent job by Jackson Dart. He's got a defender hanging on right at his ankles. Dylan Stewart stands firm. And then one last time, J.J. Pegues, his 2nd time in pay dirt. That's sweet feet right there. And he just scored touchdowns. He's dunking the basketball. Oh,
denied. Now, Taylor, were you right there? Did you?
I was. Unfortunately, he missed the first one. His teammates encouraged him to try it again. He missed the second. So I'm sure there's probably going to be a little bit of trash talking with that. But it's okay. He got in the end zone.
NBA preseason action is underway. That looked like a preseason dunk attempt. Boy, talking with Jackson Dart this week, you could tell he was not happy. He did not think he played well at all last week. You could just tell the way he spoke with us, as that's going to be a touchback, and we'll come out to the 25-yard line. And clearly he's the leader of the team, and we saw him very demonstrative earlier in the game after they failed to get into the end zone. Guys rally around him. Lane Kiffin talked about that. Charlie Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator, talked about that. And you see it there again. Look, he's always fired up. We asked him about the eye black, or you did, because you were an eye black guy. You asked him about that and why he has it, just that streak on the right side. And I have to get on you and Taylor, because, ladies and gentlemen, Dusty Dvorak and Taylor McGregor, neither of them have seen Star Wars.
I've seen it. I'm just not a big fan.
I have not.
And he does it for Anakin Skywalker. That's the reason why he has that scar. He says he loves the Clone Wars. He's watched all the movies over and over again. Big Star Wars guy, as opposed to our sideline reporter on our
Sounds like you're a pretty big Star Wars fan yourself.
100%, absolutely. Pass by Sellers is caught at the 30-yard line by Simon. Let's see if Coach Beamer uses his final timeout here. He will, with 24 seconds left.
We try to get anything positive going into half for LaNorris Sellers. His comeback. Only a second completion here in the second quarter, and finding yourself down 21, you're going to have to start throwing the football and try to push it down the field.
So you won't be going as Darth Sidious for Halloween, is what you're saying. Don't worry, I'll tell you about him later. I'll explain him later. But back to Jackson Dart and his play on the field, Dusty. He's had a remarkable game. How many times have you seen him hang in there with guys at his feet or in his face, and he makes the throw?
Poised, just poised, and able to stand firm, find targets down the field. They've hit some chunk plays down the field. Last week, you know, for an offense that's so explosive, they didn't hit their deep shots. We saw 2 deep shots hit in this first half that leads to touchdowns for this offense. So that's been a real key for Jackson Dart here today, shrugging off a week ago and stepping up and having a great first half.
Sellers in trouble, escapes, and takes off, and decides to slide inbounds. That'll stop the clock for the moment, but it'll run once they reset the chains. And now they spike it. 14 seconds left. Alex Herrera, the field goal kicker's long this year, was 46 yards, so they got a ways to go to even have a shot. Again, only 14 seconds and no timeouts.
We do talk so much about Jackson Dart, this offense, but the defense has been stellar all season, and we put together an excellent first half here this afternoon.
Sellers in trouble from behind, sacked by Jared Ivey. And that will end the first half.
Jared Ivey, just a savvy veteran, so good with his hands. Working over on the true freshman, Josiah Thompson. That's a veteran on a true freshman. As they're celebrating going to halftime. What a half for Ole Miss on both sides of the football.
LaNorris Sellers upset. Jackson Dart elated. Lexus halftime report, Matt Berry and company. Welcome back to ESPN's Afternoon College Football, delivered by Papa John's. From Columbia, South Carolina, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor back at Williams-Brice Stadium, where number 12 Ole Miss leads 24-3 and took a 14-0 lead 6 minutes into the game.
And it started with some Beamer ball. Fake punt at the 36. Not so fast. Ole Miss up for the task. Robbie Ashford comes in for one play, puts it on the ground. Walter Nolan in front on top of that football. How about Jackson Dart? A couple of chunk pass plays there in the first half. Something they did not have a week ago against Kentucky. He was very good. And J.J. Pegues, the big man, finding Painter not once, but twice in that first half. The power on the first one and the sweet feet on the second one. All Rebels here in South Carolina in the first half.
And Pegues player spotlight brought to you by Tide. Most rushing touchdowns in a season by an SEC defensive lineman in the last 20 years. South Carolina will get the ball to start the second half. And it'll be a touchback, so the Gamecocks will start on their 25. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak in the boot. Taylor McGregor down on the field. Okay, Dusty, 9 passing attempts. That was it. Just 51 passing yards in the first half. You're down 3 scores. You got to start throwing the ball. But how do they help Sellers have success throwing the ball?
Well, the receiver's got to get open first and foremost, and now Loggins has to put the trust and believe in his young quarterback. They told us that the difference between him and Robbie Ashford is his ability to throw the football. So, and protection's going to be key. Coming into this game, South Carolina had given up 16 sacks, 3 sacks in that first half from the Ole Miss front.
Rocket Sanders in the game. He had only 3 carries in the first half, coming off an injury 2 weeks ago. We were told that he's good to go, but didn't play a ton. They're going to throw it on first down. And staying in bounds, Larvidan makes a nice spin move and picks up 9 yards.
Nice easy pitch and catch. Get the ball out quick. That'll help negate that pass rush, and a nice job by Larvidan after the catch.
Norris Sellers, redshirt freshman quarterback, coming off an injury himself a couple weeks ago. Here's Sanders and a first down. They only had a handful of those in the first half, so a good start to the third quarter.
3 total carries in that first half. Rocket Sanders, such a key acquisition this past offseason. He's put in a lot of work coming off that ankle injury from a couple of weeks ago. Nice run to start this second half.
At 143 rushing yards in the 3-point loss here at home to LSU. Sellers pitches it forward to Joshua Simon. And he stepped out at the 43. Still a 5-yard pickup.
Move, get him outside the pocket. We've seen this several times here today. And a Centeric Perkins close on the quarterback. Good decision there by Lenore Sellers just to flip that ball out to his tight end.
Only 8 completions for Sellers, and more than half have gone to his tight end, Joshua Simon. We haven't seen Michael Smith, true freshman tight end, a lot in this game. Banged up coming in. Keep it on the ground here with Sanders. And nice cut to get the first down as we check in with Taylor.
Well, Shane Beamer told me that Ole Miss is showing some things defensively that they didn't expect, playing a lot more soft coverage, keeping things in front of them. So he said we have to make adjustments to the pass game, which I think we've seen a little bit early in this drive. But he said for us, our offense starts with running the football. So look for them to rely a little bit more on Rocket Sanders this half. And as for Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin said Jackson Dart, that last offensive possession, that's how Ole Miss is supposed to play. He does not want Dart to get complacent. Those are the challenges to keep building off of that in the second half.
All right, Taylor, Dart threw for over 200 yards in that first half. And here's another run play off the right side, Sanders. So a few touches already here in the third for Sanders. That goes for 3 yards, 2 first downs on this drive for South Carolina.
Good to see them trying to get him involved. As many carries here in this opening possession as we saw in the first 30 minutes. And at what point do you take your shot? Continue to run the football. At some point, you've got to play action pass to try to push this football down the field.
Biggest play was a 30-yard run by the quarterback, Lenore Sellers, in that first half. Sellers moving around, steps up, and he's past the 40, got a first down to the 36. A 10-yard run for Lenore Sellers.
This is exactly what Pete Golding was worried about. In the pocket, nothing's open down the field. Him just scrambling and making a play, puts his foot in the ground and makes that defender miss. Nice job by Sellers.
Sellers fires complete. Larvidan, oh, gorgeous move. And he's close to a first down. He's got it. Gain of 11. Boy, by far the best drive of the day for South Carolina. Can they finish it?
Coming to life, getting the ball out very quick. That's the second time. Just ball out quick into Larvidan's hands. That punt returner skills on display. Good move in the open field to pick up the first.
From the Ole Miss 25-yard line. Pressure coming, in trouble. Sellers throws, juggled, and then caught. Harbor gets belted, though, by Banks. Short gain, pickup of a couple.
Touched on it. Shot here taken by Lenore Sellers as he delivers the football. J.J. Pegues. Sellers actually sidesteps that there at the very end. Good concentration by Harbor to catch that football, Dave.
De'Aaron Banks, transfer from South Alabama, had that hit. 2nd and 8 on the 23 after the 2-yard pickup. Sellers dumping it off again to Simon inside the 20-yard line, short of the line to gain by about 4 yards. You'd have to think 4-down territory. Already gone for it a few times on 4th down and not been able to convert though.
Rocky Sanders checks back in. Big physical running back.
Simon's got 5 catches now. 3rd down and 3. And Sellers going to run it, trying to get the edge. It's not there. And he loses yardage. Chased down by T.J. Daugherty. Transfer from Clemson.
Boy, Daugherty's been so good. He was outstanding in the first half. And you're going to see the speed on display. Also, Centarian Perkins playing that edge. Feathers this, works out. The speed on the perimeter. It's good defense. Going to force a field goal attempt from South Carolina.
10 tackles for Daugherty, and because they lose 2 yards and it's 4th and 5, you're almost forced to kick the field goal in this situation. I want to get some points out of this nice drive. It's a 38-yard attempt for Alex Herrera. And that is no good. He missed it wide to the right, and boy, that's deflating.
Coach Beamer's face says it all. You come out with your best drive of the football game. It comes up lane, and the kick pushes right. Rebels on top big here in South Carolina.
WNBA playoffs roll on tomorrow. A pair of semifinal game 4s. A'ja Wilson, there's her statue there here in Columbia. Now a member of the Aces, looking to stay alive against the Liberty on ABC. Then the Lynx and Sun, 5 Eastern ESPN. A'ja Wilson wore 22 here. There's Dawn Staley, her former coach, repping her, wearing 22. South Carolina went 38-0 last year, getting ready to start the new season as Dart from the pocket throws that away. The fans here wanted grounding, but not going to get a flag.
And Juice Wells was at least in the vicinity. That's
Injured South Carolina player trying to get the number. Dart leading the country in yards per attempt, leading the nation in passing yards. It's Dylan Stewart, by the way. South Carolina shaken up on the play.
Jackson Dart has bounced back, and this is the explosive nature of this offense. The chunk plays in the throw game is just a huge part of how this offense operates. To get those chunk plays, they get on the ball, snap it immediately, don't allow you to get set, get defenses on their heels. It's been back a big piece of the success from this offense this afternoon.
Lost last week in Oxford to Kentucky after beating less than stellar competition through the first 4 games, although Wake Forest got a win today against NC State as Dart's pass is behind Jordan Watkins with Collier in coverage. Ole Miss throttled Wake Forest week 2 along with Middle Tennessee, Furman, and Georgia Southern.
Tonka Hemingway inside, gets a good rush, gets his hand up, deflects that pass, allows Collier to make a play on that football, and yet another Ole Miss player down.
Micah Pettis, the right tackle. He's been penalized a couple times in this game. Now, Ole Miss got to number 6 in the country. We mentioned the opponents the first 4 games. No issues at all for Mississippi, averaging 55 points per game. And even though they scored 17 against Kentucky, they scored on their first drive, but they could not finish that game. Had some opportunities late, gave up a big 4th down conversion to Kentucky. Jackson Dart got his team in position though to send it to overtime, but a missed field goal would have been a long one, about 48. And Lane Kiffin, when we spoke to him this week, we asked him for his thoughts. He said very succinctly, quote unquote, it sucked.
Not happy about that football game as they found a way to have the lead late, go up a score, get the ball back, and they weren't able to finish it. It was that big 4th down conversion by Kentucky. It left a lot of people questioning, wondering just how good is this Ole Miss team? They've made a statement here early on in this ball game so far.
Some confusion, and then the communication between the quarterback and coach shuts off at 15. That's why you saw him. Obviously, the coaches were talking to him. Now they get a free play because of another offside penalty. And there's Prescorn, the tight end, a first down out to the 33 as they pick up 3rd and 10.
Offside on the defense, number 91. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is first down, Ole Miss.
Yet another hard count offsides from South Carolina. Free play, but nice route by Prescorn and a strike from Dart.
Boy, doesn't it help, too, Dusty, to have a veteran quarterback? You can talk to him, to move guys around, do whatever you need to do. As on the run here, it's Parrish not getting much. And once 15 seconds hit on the play clock, that communication goes off. But looked like he had the information he needed at that point, was able to digest it quickly.
Well, it's a quarterback that has complete and total understanding of the offense. Charlie Weiss said, master the offense. And coordinator, quarterback on the same page, comms or no comms.
Something new this year in college football. Both the offense and defense have one player that does that. Wide open in the middle of the field is Wells, and the former Gamecock is free. Inside the 20, inside the 10. The ball comes out and goes out the back of the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback. DQ Smith shoved Wells toward the sideline. Now the officials are having a conversation. One official threw the beanbag indicating a fumble. And there it is. Yep, touchback. South Carolina still alive. Lane Kiffin furious.
Willing on the field was a fumble in the field of play.
Well, it's an incredible effort
and went
by
on the
DQ
back of the
Smith.
end zone, resulting in a touchback. First down, South Carolina.
So they're going to look at this while we are away. You see the ball definitely comes free and appeared to go through the end zone and then out of bounds after it had crossed the end zone. Juice Wells, 65-yard catch and run, but he fumbles the ball. DQ Smith knocks it free, it appears, and goes through the end zone for a touchback.
Well, the corner's going to fall down. That's how he gets so wide open. But I want you to focus on one, DQ Smith, the safety. This is why you never give up on a play, and you play all the way till the very end. And Juice Wells, he's going to look at this and kick himself. He tries to extend this ball at about the 3-4 yard line. It gets loose. It goes to the end zone. Takes away a massive play for Ole Miss and gives South Carolina the football back.
Still down 21, though. Need to make something happen on offense. That's a long throw. An overthrow by Sellers trying to hit Larvidan.
He's got Larvidan open. In that coverage, top of the corner, front of the safety, unable to fit it in that window. Norris Sellers going to have to be able to convert and push the ball down the field to get this South Carolina team back in this ball game.
He's thrown it a lot more here in the third quarter, but still just 15 attempts, 84 passing yards. He's been sacked twice. He'll throw here into traffic, broken up by Isaiah Hamilton. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
RPO action, trying to get the ball to Nick Harbor. Excellent coverage on the outside. Comes in with that left hand and knocks it loose. Excuse me, the right hand. That's outstanding defense.
Ole Miss rushes 4. Sellers on a crossing route hits Harbor, and it's going to be close. He got it. First down, South Carolina. That's a big pickup on 3rd down and 10. They get 12 yards.
They want to get Nick Harbor more involved. Just a shallow crossing route, zone coverage underneath. Get it to the big man and let him get out in front and run.
Speaking of run, let's see if they go back to the ground attack. They do with Rocket Sanders. Stiff arms the defender. And then Sanders turns it upfield and gets 12 yards. If they can get a rhythm going with here, there's plenty of time to be able to run the ball with Sanders.
These are a couple old friends, a couple of former teammates at Arkansas. Rocket Sanders, Chris Paul, the stiff arm from Sanders as he gets to the edge.
A first down on the 45. Sanders again, no hole, instead gobbled up by Walter Nolan. The ball came out, but he's ruled down. Boy, Walter Nolan with a sack, a fumble recovery, and a tackle for loss here of a yard.
Boy, he is a big-time presence inside. Splits a double team, gets this negative plays, brings. Yeah, it sure looks like Rocket Sanders' arm hits the ground.
Clearly down, but also unsure why Sanders is trying to pitch the ball in that situation. Dangerous. Second down and 11. Sellers stepping up, and what a play by Nolan to grab him at the ankles and sack him. Another 1-yard loss.
But Walter Nolan is having himself a ball game. This is why so many people talked about what his presence could mean. It's an inside game. He's going to stem inside hard, work all the way across the center, then go back across the center's face and get Sellers to the ground. Excellent individual effort inside by Walter Nolan.
He had a half a sack the entire season coming into today. He's got 2 sacks alone in this game. Sellers pass. Oh, and a grab! Stabbed out of the air by Dre Jacobs for a first down and a gain of 16.
Boy, the concentration, grabbing it just with that one hand and bringing it in. Excellent catch by Jacobs.
Meanwhile, J.J. Pegues shaken up. You hear the boos from the crowd. Vandrevius Jacobs, redshirt freshman from Florida, with 4 catches on the season, his first grab of the day. And Pegues shaken up for the second time today. Official timeout.
The last one that ever wants to speculate on injuries is me. We're just going to play it, and we'll let you determine exactly what's what. J.J. Pegues walking, looks over the side, takes a knee after the big play by South Carolina. He was getting looked at over the sidelines. He quickly rejoined his defense in the huddle right after that shot.
Right, has to sit out for 1 play, but would imagine would come right back in based on what we were showing earlier. Here's Attaway out of the backfield, making the catch, and then loses his helmet after the big hit. Did well to hang on to the football. Kyrie Coleman with the lick.
Wow. Chris Paul under pressure, and Kyrie Coleman, bam! With a big hit on Attaway.
So now he'll have to come out for a play because he lost his helmet. Pegues hasn't checked back in either, just letting you know that. On defense. In trouble, Sellers. And throws it away. Receiver, Joshua Simon, was over there, so it's not grounded. Now Pegues checking back in.
Chris Paul back-to-back plays as a blitzer. Accounted for on that last one. J.J. Pegues, a monster day here so far. Set out 2 plays after South Carolina gets the explosive play. Went to a knee, slowed it down, and back on the field.
4-down territory. They were down here in their last possession, tried a field goal and missed it. Trailing by 21. Sellers to the air, and the catch is made by Hunt, but he's short of the line to gain. There is a penalty marker down. Gain of about 5. Walter Nolan is shaken up for Ole Miss, and Brady Hunt is down for South Carolina. You hear the boos as they just saw Nolan go down to the ground, but again, you had a player already shaken up for South Carolina. And a penalty to sort out here, and what would be 4th and 3, depending on the flag. Just the 2nd catch of the year for Brady Hunt, who missed all last season with an ankle injury. Ball State transfer. David Smith, our referee.
Pass interference on the offense. Number 3, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
That's on Mazio Bennett. That's the 2nd offensive pass interference on South Carolina in this game.
Had one on Harbor earlier this ball game. Now it's the true freshman, Mazeo Bennett. Mazeo Bennett working out of the slot.
Boy,
I don't know about that.
I don't see that.
I don't know what they're calling there.
There was no screen. There were two players in the area, but there was no contact made with a defensive player. There was no screening of a defensive player. No intentional contact.
Doesn't make any sense there. Shane Beamer's got to be very frustrated with that call.
So instead of 3rd and 3, because that's what it would have been with the penalty, it's 3rd and 23. Or 4th and 3 rather, 3rd and 23. Now it's 4th and 33 with Perkins getting the sack back at the 38-yard line, and South Carolina will have to punt now.
Well, this is what Centarian Perkins did a week ago so well, just playing spy. You're going to see him just sit back, watch the quarterback. Just going to be a 3-man rush, and he's the added rusher late. And as soon as Sellers wants to step up, it's Perkins that engages for a sack.
Handful of sacks today for Ole Miss and 8 tackles for a loss. They're number 1 in the country in tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Good punt. Davis gets out of there. It hits at the 1 and appears not to cross the plane. Down to around the 2-yard line. The officials are going to talk about it first. And now they're saying touchback. One official said touchback, that it did cross the plane. You saw the reaction of the punter.
Ruling on the field as a touchback. When the ball landed, it touched the goal line, resulting in a touchback. The ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. First down, Ole Miss.
Touchback. Looked like it crossed, right?
Yes. Great shot there by that pylon cam.
And yeah, landed in the end zone as well. So Ole Miss will have the ball on its 20-yard line, up 21 points. 4:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. Again, there's still almost 20 minutes left in the game. Still plenty of time for South Carolina. They've been in Ole Miss territory twice. Missed field goal, a punt after the offensive pass interference and the sack took them out of field goal range. Took them out of range to go for it. It would have been 4th and 3. But because of the offensive pass interference, it was 3rd and 23, and then 4th and about 33. And Dart will throw it. Has a ton of time. Taking a shot. Downfield, incomplete. Streaking down the seam was Jordan Watkins, but they could not connect with him.
Evan Morey stride for stride with Watkins. Pass a little bit over his intended target, but it's excellent coverage down the field. Double move, no bite by Evan Morey. He's in good position.
So 2nd and 10 on the 20, and a design quarterback run for Dart up to about the 24-yard line. Tackle by Jules. 3rd down coming up.
South Carolina checking in fresh bodies. Their best host of pass rushers, Stewart, Kennard, Hemingway, Sanders, all checking the ball game.
3 of 8 on 3rd down after 1 for 10 in the loss to Kentucky last week. Got to get to the 30.
Kennard, it's so good all season. Can he come up with a rush?
Like lockdown to 5. Dart pitching in trouble, and there it is. Sacked by Dylan Stewart, and now a flag.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The unsportsmanlike conduct was for taunting.
Incredibly unintelligent play by Stewart.
Well, Kyle Kennard.
That is number 6 first. Unsportsmanlike
Such a good job
of the game.
with this rush. Comes inside, and Stewart's able to get him down. And that's a true freshman, just making a freshman mistake. Can't get over the quarterback and taunts him. You just got a big play. You just got off the field.
Well, he did more than taunt.
Celebrate with your teammates, not in the face of the opponent.
And Ole Miss just runs it straight ahead with Henry Parrish. Well, South Carolina, if it ends up losing this game, and even Shane Beamer mentioned this to Taylor McGregor, the going for a fake punt on the first possession from inside your 40. That, along with a fumble on the next possession that led to an Ole Miss touchdown, a pass interference call, a taunting penalty when you're off the field on defense. They have no one to blame but themselves. Now, Ole Miss is really good as another flag comes soaring in with Juice Wells, the former Gamecock, being defended by his ex-teammate Judge Collier.
On the defense, number 20, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
It's starting to add up now for USC.
Judge Collier has been so good for a large majority of this game, just one-on-one on the outside. He's got his hand full of the jersey on Wells. It's a pretty easy call, Dave. He never let go. And his hand on the shoulder pad. It's that jersey tug and an easy flag.
Mississippi has the ball in South Carolina territory. Back-to-back first downs via penalty, and now Dart on the run. And Dart, instead of sliding, takes on Eman Wari. The sideline goes wild for Ole Miss as they see their quarterback going at a defensive back initiating contact for 14 yards. Now Dart throwing. Going for the end zone, incomplete, trying to hit Watkins again.
Boy, after a first down, they just try to rip your heart out. You can get up there so fast, take that chunk play, good coverage down the field by Fortune. Excuse me, looks like Swain over there working on Watkins. They do not waste any time. After a first down, boom, on the football, they'll take their shots.
They've got a veteran quarterback to orchestrate it all. 30th straight start for Dart. Parrish out of the backfield, could not hang on. Ruled an incomplete pass despite it being scooped up immediately by Swain.
Ruling on the field was the pass was forward and incomplete.
And that's the right call, Dave. It's pretty clear. This pass, definitely a forward pass. Parrish just takes his eyes off the football as he looks to turn up.
So 3rd and 10 at the 32.
Dylan Stewart, the true freshman, has been good all day. Sack earlier on this drive. Another offside.
Would be the 4th by South Carolina. Dart, end zone, off the fingertips of Wells, incomplete. Collier standing over Wells. Wells just jogs back to the Ole Miss huddle.
On the defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
So that's on Gilmer Edmond, and it'll be 3rd and 5 now.
How many times now, Dave? I think you said 4. 3rd down, just give a free play to Jackson Dart. Been so good in these spots with the hard count on 3rd down. Juice Wells so close to bringing in a touchdown.
8 penalties on South Carolina, 3 on this possession. Inside 5 seconds now, and Dart gonna have to call a timeout.
Ole Miss, they're first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
2:07 on the game clock. Coming up tonight on ABC. Say tonight, about an hour from now, with this game going extremely long. You got number 4 Tennessee on the road in Arkansas at Fayetteville. Boy, Arkansas has been close with A&M last week. Oklahoma State week 2, but lost both those games. Tennessee, meanwhile, has not been in a lot of close games.
No, and the last time we saw them, they took it to the Sooners in Norman. Can't wait to see Nico Iamaleava tonight on the road. It's that Hog defense. We've seen Taylor Green twice this year. He's had some turnover issues, and boy, that Tennessee defense, it is absolutely ferocious. Should be a good one tonight in Fayetteville.
What was the mood in Norman? The Josh Heupel revenge game coming back to Oklahoma a couple weeks ago?
Well, I think the focus was go find a way to get a win on the road at Auburn before you hit the bye week, and well, that was a big win as they're able to pull a rabbit out of the hat in Auburn a week ago and get their first SEC victory for the Sooners.
And they've got Texas next week in Arlington, the first Texas-Oklahoma matchup of this new realignment era.
Juice Wells in the slot.
On 3rd and 5. 4-man pressure. And Dart again with a deep shot. Oh, and he had Wells wide open. It's 4th down.
Well, he was wide open. E-Man Worry going to get his eyes caught looking in the backfield. Double move. He freezes. That's just a miss by Jackson Dart. Great route by Juice Wells. And a rare miss down the field from Dart.
Have not seen much of Trey Harris out there at all for Ole Miss. He was on the injury report early in the week, then we didn't see him on it at all on Friday. And this kick is drilled by Caden Davis from 44 yards away. That extends the lead to 24. Technically still a 3-possession game. 1:56 to go in the 3rd. This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. Ole Miss with a great bounce back after the loss to Kentucky last week. South Carolina in danger of dropping 0-2 at home in conference play.
I hate to go back, but man, that's points on the board that shouldn't have been there. That's a teachable moment. You take a look at Juice Wells, Lane Kiffin, but Dylan Stewart gets that big sack on that 3rd down, and he gets called for the taunting penalty. Just let his emotions get the best of him. Get a chance to get your defense off the field, but it's kind of been the story of this game. Miscues and mistakes by South Carolina all afternoon.
6 straight losses against ranked teams, including the heartbreaking defeat against LSU here a few weeks ago where they led that game 17-0. The schedule is very difficult ahead for South Carolina, as it always is, but you're at Alabama next week, then at Oklahoma, and then they have to play Texas A&M. That's playing as well as anybody in the conference right now. A touchback. South Carolina will start on the 25. Look, Ole Miss is really good, but South Carolina has not helped its cause in this game with mistakes.
No, he shot themselves in the foot. And Shane Beamer said himself, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have called that fake punt in that spot. And there was a fumble shortly after giving a short field to Ole Miss. Going for it on 4th down again. This on the most recent possession. Dylan Stewart, taunting call on 3rd down. Allowed the drive to live on and resulted in a field goal.
And now you put Lenora Sellers in a bind here. Sellers has been sacked a handful of times. You know Ole Miss is going to start teeing off. He's got to throw the ball down 24 points. They protect him well, but the coverage is very good. Nobody open. Now a receiver comes free. It's Larbadan, and right at the 1st down marker, and they'll move the chains on that 10-yard pickup.
Just a 3-man rush. They're dropping 8 in coverage. And it takes a long time for somebody to come open. Good find by Sellers and Larbadan.
Minute and a half to go in the 3rd quarter. McDowell gets the carry right in the awaiting arms of Xavier Harris and Kyrie Coleman. Pick up of 3. Shoe loose. Xavier Harris going to lace it up here. In that situation, South Carolina could have snapped the ball if it wanted to.
Yes, a sense of urgency here.
Got a free 5 yards. Harris was taking his time, and Sellers in trouble, gets away, and he's got some green. He decelerates and then just scoots out of play. That kind of looks strange. Still got 16 yards and a 1st down.
It's a nice job on the pump fake. Spins around. Pressure initially. Such a big body guy. Finds a crease and kind of an afternoon Sunday stroll like you take around the neighborhoods in Arizona. He goes out of bounds.
And he saw a lot of defenders there, assumed a hit was coming, and went out of play. Final seconds here of the 3rd quarter. 3rd straight possession they've gotten to Ole Miss territory. And McDowell wrapped up after a gain of a couple. Nolan on the takedown. Ivy hit him first. And South Carolina not in a hurry to run another play. So that's going to take us to the 4th quarter. couple of missed opportunities, I think, here at the end of the third to get extra plays off and get moving, knowing you're down 24. It's all Rebels here in Columbia. Ole Miss's first trip here in 15 years. Welcome back to Columbia. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Moments ago, Taylor McGregor and Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin.
24-point lead in the fourth quarter. What more do you want to see out of your team?
Well, we've got a lot of missed opportunities. This game shouldn't be close. We handed away, reaching the ball out down there, and 3 more double moves that we have on them we're just not making. So we're playing great defense, but you know we got to do a better job of executing so we don't leave this game anywhere like this.
Thank you. Dave?
Well, he's right about the defense as Larvin picks up about 7 yards. Only 3 points surrendered. The last time Mississippi did not allow a touchdown in an SEC game was back 5 years ago in Oxford against Vanderbilt.
Look at you with the stats.
That's Ken Dunlap, our statistician, giving us that note. Here's McDowell, and another tackle for a loss. Boy, Suntarine Perkins, Princely Umanmielen not playing today, one of their best defensive linemen, and they really haven't missed him.
Yeah, Perkins has been fantastic. Nice job closing off the edge. Another tackle for loss, and no question here. Down 24 points at this juncture. It's going for it on fourth down.
Down 27-3. Third time they've been in Ole Miss territory here in the second half. Sellers, everybody's covered. Sellers going to try to do it himself, and he gets the first down. This time he stays in bounds. He decelerated and scooted for the hills at the end of the third quarter. That time he turned it upfield and picked up 19.
Well, Suntarine Perkins going to spy again. He gets caught on the wrong side and allows Sellers to get to the edge, and it's a foot race to the sidelines. And a big fourth down conversion for South Carolina.
Got to think the coaching staff said something to him about the way he went out of bounds at the end of the third, because that was a very determined effort to make sure he did not step out of play. Great coverage downfield again, and Sellers throws it away. Boy, just watching downfield, those receivers can't get open as we check in with Matt Berry.
All right, so I've been updating you on Alabama Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt not going away 23-14, but Jalen Milroe from 14 yards out makes it 23-21. However, Vandy with the ball and driving.
Imagine if Vanderbilt were to hang on after what we witnessed in Tuscaloosa last week in that Alabama-Georgia game. Still a long way to go, though. Sellers over the middle. It's deflected and incomplete. TJ Daugherty got a hand on it. Third down and 10.
Well, Daugherty's just been all over the field. We've seen him a lot stopping this run. Now just right in the throwing lane of Lenore Sellers. Eyes on the quarterback, and he gets his hand on the football. Good afternoon from TJ Daugherty. Pete Golding praised him about his intelligence, how smart he was, the communication.
12 tackles and a sack. Third down and long. Across the middle, it's Bennett. Turns it upfield, and he gets the first down. And another injury for Ole Miss. Hear what the crowd thinks of it. The crowd that remains, anyway. Many have exited. That's Pegues. He's been down a few times. Ole Miss is at LSU on ABC next Saturday night.
Mazeo Bennett finds a soft spot in the zone. Really good getting upfield and getting the yardage needed for the first down. And Pegues comes in as he fully dives, tries to chop at this football. I wonder kind of the wind might have got knocked out of him there, Dave. Big man took a hard fall as he went for that tackle attempt.
He's been one of the best offensive players on the field. You heard me right. 2 rushing touchdowns in this game for J.J. Pegues. 4 touchdowns now on the season. He wears number 89 on the road. That's the number his dad wore when he played. At home, he wears number 38 to honor Chucky Mullins. Chucky Mullins Courage Award winner. Coming up tonight on SEC Network. It's a big game for Florida. UCF, pretty good team. They're coming off getting blown out by Colorado. That's in the Swamp. 7:45 Eastern.
Fascinating game. Can Florida, after the bye, get that run defense in shape against a really good running UCF team? And then Graham Mertz, intrigued to see if he gets the bulk of the snaps tonight. I think he should.
Florida goes to Knoxville. ESPN Saturday night next week. Early fourth here. South Carolina obviously needs a touchdown. And boy, Larvin was open. Just Sellers could not hit him. This could have been the story of the day offensively for South Carolina.
This is a missed opportunity. Larvin in motion, just going to run the wheel. Nobody stays with him. And it's a miss by Sellers. Should be a walk-in, easy touchdown. Good play design by Dow Loggins and poor execution on the pass.
Rocket Sanders back on the field. He'll go out in the route and catch the ball. And shoved out of play by Trey Amos. Alabama transfer at the 6-yard line. They can get a first down before the end zone. But again, clock is still moving. And they need at least 2 more possessions if they score and get a 2-point conversion on this drive. Sellers throwing the ball has been pretty good on 3rd down, but most of that has come in this second half. Barely threw the ball in the first half. Fury. Might have been a hold there. Sellers pass intercepted in the end zone. Trey Amos picks it off and is down at the 2. Might have been a hold anyway. It wasn't called, and Walter Nolan was getting mauled. Amos comes up with the pick.
I think you're exactly right. I do think Walter Nolan was getting held inside, but what a play by Trey Amos. Going to come off the initial receiver he was on, eyes on the quarterback, work back to the football. Boy, South Carolina has had their struggles. Ole Miss continues to dominate this ball game.
Well, you look at the numbers that Trey Amos posted at Alabama, and already this season 2 interceptions, including what looked like the game clincher, and then with authority on the throwdown.
Ooh, off the glass. Give it a 10, Dave. 10.
We have NBA preseason, by the way, on our air tomorrow. Milwaukee, Detroit. Here's Parrish. He got out of the end zone, though. Not a safety. He got out. At this point, South Carolina needs a lot more to safety.
Take a look. Sure looked like get out of the end zone just enough.
Yeah, the whole ball has to get out. It's not like it is when you're the offense trying to go into the end zone.
Billboard Kamara on him immediately.
Parrish. And some room off the left side, but a holding call, and that hold came outside the end zone. Had it been in the end zone, it would have been a safety. But pretty clearly a holding call as Monkel Goodwine shake it up for South Carolina. A lot of injuries. Both sides in this game. Trey Harris, we have not seen since he went down in the 2nd quarter holding his ankle. I think Shane Beamer's trying to decide, do I decline the penalty here and make it 3rd down? I mean, accepting the penalty, you're going to get about a half yard because it's half the distance to the goal at that point. Goodwine, by the way, is on his feet and walking under his own power to the South Carolina sideline.
Holding, number 61 on the offense. The penalty is declined. It will be 3rd down.
There was a gain of about 3.
On this left side, Diego Pounds gets called for the flag.
So 3rd down and 5. Clock nearing 11 minutes to go here. Ole Miss up 27-3. You saw Dart once he gets the information and the clock hits 15. That microphone from the coach goes off. He knows what he wants to do, but it didn't work as Matt Jones gets dumped by Dylan Stewart. A loss of about 4 now. Mississippi's got a punt deep, and it's end zone.
Well, what a day for Dylan Stewart. I know he made the mistake earlier, but the future is so bright for this true freshman. His quickness off the edge, man, it jumps off the tape and the screen. Good inside move, creating that penetration. Big negative play. And a stop.
Short snap because Mazin was backed up. And it takes a big Ole Miss bounce out of bounds in South Carolina territory. And so South Carolina ball when we come back to Columbia. The Gamecocks down big.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some. And in part by Taco Bell.
Back in Columbia, South Carolina. Beautiful city, beautiful campus. Gamecocks, though, won't be celebrating downtown tonight. They're down 27-3. Clemson, Florida State follows us on ESPN. Tennessee, Arkansas, ABC. Florida, UCF on SEC Network. And Clemson, since the loss to Georgia, Cade Klubnik has been on a tear.
Incredible. Come to life. Him and Garrett Riley really clicking on all cylinders. And also in that game, Brock Glenn making the start for Florida State at quarterback.
DJ Uiagalelei shaken up. Jaworn Howell is in the game. We were told that he would get some reps in this game. We just thought it would be earlier when the game was still in the balance. Howell playing just his second game at 5 attempts and a touchdown in the big win over Akron 2 weeks ago. Well, the bye came at the wrong time, it looks like, for South Carolina as Howell gets the first down. They're 3 points away from being undefeated. Their quarterback gets hurt. They're beating LSU at home. They ended up losing that game despite having a 17-0 lead. And now you're looking at 1-2 in the league, 0-2 at home, and you go to Bama next week. They might be coming off a loss. They're losing right now in Nashville against Vanderbilt.
And that LSU game just started so polar opposite of this game. You jumped out to that big lead, got the crowd involved, and
here's a catch by Bennett. Turns upfield and gets the first.
This wasn't the case here this afternoon. Showed it several times with a fake punt, stop, short field for Ole Miss, and it was Ole Miss 6 minutes into this game with a 14-point lead.
And maybe Shane Beamer thought, you know what, against this Ole Miss team coming off a loss, their roster, their talent level, maybe I have to pull out all the stops and pull out all the stops early. It just didn't work, and it was a 14-0 deficit 5 minutes into the game. Harbor on the catch, but only a short gain.
See this offense operate in fast pace. North Sellers going hurry up.
And another Ole Miss player down. You see Coach Beamer's reaction. That's Akilo Stone. Now, he was questionable due to injury coming into this game. Now, while we have at least a little bit of time, let's get you back to Matt in the studio.
Dave, you referenced it moments ago. 4th and 1, Vandy. Diego Pavia. Watch the throw to Junior Sherrill. What in the anchor down is going on in Nashville? 30-21 Vandy, late third quarter.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Still,
college football is crazy, Dave Pasch. There's no gimmies in the SEC, and that does include Vanderbilt. And I don't know what is to be done about what we've seen here today. We've been seeing throughout college football with these hurry-up offenses. And again, I always caution. I was a player that got hurt a lot, okay? So I always feel for players that get injured. But I do think it's something that you've got to take a look at, because if we do have players going down intentionally for whatever reason, I think it's something that needs to be addressed. It needs to be talked about here in the future.
Just don't know how you adjudicate that.
I don't either.
That's the issue. How do you figure out who's feigning an injury and who's not? A pass high and incomplete. Chris Paul Jr. got a shot in on Lenore Sellers. By the way, if Vanderbilt wins, it'll be the first time beating Bama in Nashville since LBJ was president. That was 1969. I was not born then.
I was just
you were
about
looking
to
at me.
ask.
No, I was not alive then. The SEC's crazy. College football is crazy. I don't think anybody expected A&M to do that to the Missouri today as Sellers throws high and complete as he was getting mauled by 3 Rebels in the backfield, led by Chris Paul.
When Chris Paul has been so good for this defense this year, the transfer from Arkansas, timing up his blitz perfectly. Kamar Bell goes inside, running back, young running back who's in there. Howell unable to get over, and there's been a lot of pressure all throughout this ball game on Lenore Sellers. Pete Golding just been so happy with the way his defense has performed all season. Today, no different.
Chris Paul Jr. got in great shape when he came to camp, transferring from Arkansas, dropped about 20 pounds. Been one of the leaders of that awesome defense. Timeout taken.
Timeout. South
4th and 9 when we come back.
They're first.
Time running out on South Carolina. 8:32 remaining, trailing 27-3. Twilight here in Columbia. Shane Beamer trying to avoid a 1-2 start in conference play with back-to-back road games at Alabama and Oklahoma the next 2 weeks. This is it right here. 4th down and 9 on the 29 of Ole Miss. They've been after Lenore Sellers and gotten to him a lot throughout the game. A flag down. Sellers going to the end zone. Knocked away by Amos as Campbell is shaken up on the play, ending up in the hedges initially and still down, and a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage.
Offside on the defense. Player over the right offensive tackle is in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
4th and 4 now, and hopefully Campbell's all right. Don't know if it happened when he crashed into the hedges behind the end zone as Amos knocked the ball away. Shane Beamer going all the way from his sideline to the opposite corner to check on his player.
Amos in good coverage to stand up at the last minute to flex that ball as we see Campbell go into those hedges. Boom. Takes a hard shot, Dave. He goes into those hedges. See him able to walk off.
Yeah, there's a wall behind that hedge, and you saw him hit that at the end.
Walter Nolan jumped on the interior in the neutral zone when that ball was snapped. Gives South Carolina another crack at this 4th down.
Campbell go to the sideline after colliding with that wall attached to those hedges there that you really can't see, but obviously Campbell felt. On 4th down and 4, stepping up, Sellers, and down he goes. It's Jared Ivey with another sack. Mississippi takes over on downs.
Well, Jared Ivey and this entire Ole Miss defensive line, we'll see him here at the top just work off. It's gonna be a 3-man rush. Perkins gonna spy once again. Good job shutting that rush down, working back. You get to the depth of the quarterback, and as he steps up as a defensive end, you want to work back down to the quarterback. And another sack for this Ole Miss defense.
6 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss in this game for Ole Miss. 24 sacks, 63 TFLs on the season for the Rebels. And Parrish, a chunk run to the 47 for 21 yards. UFC 307 is tonight in Salt Lake City, highlighted by 2 title fights. The main card starts at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view, prelims 8 Eastern on ESPN News. To order the main card, go to ESPNplus.com/PPV.
I know you love some UFC. Who you got tonight?
Going with Roundtree Jr.
I got Pereira.
All right. We'll settle it out in the ring, you and I, depending on who wins or not. As Monkel Goodwine, second time he's been banged up. I think we've hit a record for players down in this game as we go back to the studio. And Matt.
Okay, here comes Alabama just after the Vanderbilt touchdown. You've seen this before. Milroe to true freshman Ryan Williams. Keeps both feet in bounds. Now 30-28. Still Vandy. Vandy with the ball and driving again.
Just amazed that Matt keeps saying Vandy driving again. Like even after Alabama throws back, the Commodores keep coming.
Defense obviously struggling here today against Diego Pavia. He's given just about everybody he's played all kinds of fits. But how about Ryan Williams? A fabulous freshman. Just sensational all season.
So fun as we had Alabama's first game. We get to go to practice and obviously watch all their players. But just watching Ryan Williams practice, 17 years old. He looks it without his pads, and then he puts his pads on and you see him make some incredible moves like he did against Georgia, and he looks like he's been playing in the NFL for 10 years.
Like he floats. Special player. Kalen DeBoer and Alabama have on their hands with him.
Mississippi taking its time here. This is not what Lane Kiffin's teams are known for, taking their time. But obviously in this situation with the game in hand, just trying to melt the clock and get out of here. They have to go to Baton Rouge next week. Here's Parrish darting forward to midfield, picking up about 4.
This is an important win here today, so long as Ole Miss continues the final 7 minutes of this and holds on to this 24-point lead. But a lot of eyeballs on how would Ole Miss respond. They got punched in the mouth last week at home against a good Kentucky team. It's a lot of eyeballs. How would they respond? They've responded splendidly. And they still have not had a bye week. LSU on a bye week this week, going to Baton Rouge next week. That's going to be a fascinating game. They get the bye after that in Oklahoma. You see the remainder of their schedule. Georgia still upcoming for this Ole Miss team, but for the question around this football team in particular, how would they respond? They've come out and answered those questions very impressively.
False start. Number 56 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Reese McIntyre, the center. What you didn't see on that schedule for Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, Missouri. Speaking of the Vols, 4th-ranked Tennessee at Arkansas tonight, 7:30 Eastern. For the Razorbacks, who've been close but haven't been able to pull it off against Stillwater or in Arlington last week, what has to change?
Taylor Green's got to take care of the football, and they got to get Jaquindon Jackson going. Unable to get him going last week against A&M. I think running the football, taking some of that pressure off Green is a key tonight.
Dart taking off. Pass midfield. And to the 44-yard line, close to a first down. Jackson Dart did not have statistically a great second half, but you can really see the leadership on display. Very demonstrative on the sideline a few times. 2 of 8 passing, 79 yards, but the intangibles have been present. I guess sounds like a contradiction, but that it factor. Jackson Dart has it as Alex Huntley is shaken up, another defensive lineman banged up. Jackson Dart leading the country in passing yards and now number 3 all-time at Ole Miss in yards passing.
He's just grown and grown and grown. Year 1 as the starting quarterback, he had some issues with the turnovers, took better care of the football last year, and he's just continued to get complete grasp, understanding, and control of this offense, and continues to put up gaudy numbers.
Now let's check it with Taylor for more.
He has set the tone for this team after the loss last week against Kentucky. It was him who called the team meeting on Sunday. It was him who stood up and spoke in front of the offense. I loved what he told us this week. He said, we were the big guys on campus prior to that Kentucky game, and now we feel like we're the underdog. We feel like everyone in the country wants Ole Miss to lose, and he's taking on that mindset of almost being the underdog, and they want to fight and show everybody that they're not.
Yeah, he kind of likes being the villain. Again, he's got the face paint on because he says that represents Anakin Skywalker, but I guess in that case it's Darth Vader.
But isn't at the end, doesn't he become a good guy?
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So it's Anakin or Darth Vader, and I guess if he's the villain, then he would be Darth. But again, I'm talking to somebody who doesn't watch Star Wars.
You'd have to explain it to me. I've seen Star Wars. I'm just not as big a fan as you and Jackson Dart. So does that make Lane Kiffin Yoda?
I guess in a way it would. Yeah, I guess that's very good. Or Darth Sidious, again, depending on your perspective of whether Jackson Dart is Anakin or Darth Vader. Now I've really blown your mind as Parrish takes it down to the 41. But the Star Wars fans that are listening to this broadcast right now, I'm sure we have lots of people listening right now. They clearly are on board with more Star Wars talk, I'm sure, from Jackson Dart. Post game, he told us he's a huge fan. We asked him what his favorite Star Wars movie was. He says the easy one, the go-to, is to say Empire Strikes Back.
Of course, naturally. Mine's Spaceballs, but I'll defer to you.
That's a spoof. That's not a Star Wars movie. But still very funny.
I'm a Mog. Half man, half dog.
2nd and 7. Dart keeping it down to about the 34-yard line. Jackson Dart's from Utah. He started out at USC. And it looked like he was going to be the guy there with the Trojans, but then somebody named Caleb Williams ended up transferring from Oklahoma to go play for Lincoln Riley there, and Dart ended up transferring to play for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. There's a good chance he's going to be a high draft pick.
One thing that impresses me about Jackson Dart, I mean, the master of the offense is here. He can run this offense as quick as anybody. The deep ball's present. Continue to be more and more accurate of a throw, but the toughness. And we saw it earlier, lowering the shoulder, running through a defender. Played some linebacker and safety in high school, and he plays quarterback. He plays it with a defensive mentality, which I really respect.
Parrish running into the pile. We got another Ole Miss player shaking up. This is Parrish, the ball carrier.
He was game-time decision coming into today. It's not what you want to see. We reference the upcoming schedule and that big game next weekend in Baton Rouge.
Trey Harris has not returned. We have not seen him since the first half. Uman Mielen is out today, and Parrish holding left side of his upper body after this hit. TJ Sanders, and then fries under the ground after. Not sure if that is where the injury occurred or if it was prior to that. He landed on the right side of his upper body, but he's holding the left side.
He's been so good for them here this season, Dave. Real key to get him going once again today, up to 82 yards on the ball game. He's good in pass protection, good pass catcher out of the backfield, like a real 3-down back for this offense, and gonna walk off the field.
Ole Miss keep the offense on the field here for 4th down and 1. Matt Jones will come in to replace Parrish. And here are the ranked SEC teams that Lane Kiffin's squad does not play. And if you win the SEC, you're going to get an automatic bye. You're going to not have to play in the first round games on campus. If you win the conference, the highest ranked 4 conference champions will get those first round byes in the new 12-team format as Dart gets the first down. And there's no limit to the number of at-large teams. And obviously the SEC and the Big Ten are going to make up, you would think, most of those teams, maybe all of them when it's all said and done. There's just so many good teams in both leagues. And just watching again what we're seeing in Nashville with Vanderbilt, what it's doing against Alabama, and then A&M blowing out Missouri earlier today in Bryan College Station. Matt Jones on the carry and met by TJ Sanders behind the line. South Carolina will not use its last couple timeouts. And this game soon to be over. Still have the 2-minute timeout though.
The SEC, it's got obviously that top level talent, depth, no gimmies, no bye weeks. Even Mississippi State last week, it was 7-6 in Austin just 2 minutes before halftime. You better bring it each and every week. And Ole Miss sure brought it here today on a road in a crucial spot, crucial situation. A lot of people saying season on the line. And they're going to walk out of here with a very impressive win.
Meanwhile, in Nashville, it's 33-28 Vanderbilt right now in the fourth quarter over Alabama. Matt Jones straight ahead. It's going to bring up third down after the 2-minute timeout. Great bounce back win for Lane Kiffin's Rebels.
2-minute
Go to
timeout.
5-1.
The final 2 minutes are presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Be a 2%er. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor back here in Columbia, where Ole Miss is 2 minutes away from victory, 27-3 over South Carolina. Rebels, who dropped 6 spots in the AP poll after the loss to Kentucky in Oxford last week, could move up in the rankings after this convincing win. South Carolina, remember, dominated Kentucky, the team that just beat Ole Miss 31-6, and hung with LSU. In fact, led that game 17-0. But this was over quickly. Ole Miss scored 14 points in the first 6 minutes of the game and never looked back. Matt Jones stood up. And Shane Beamer will not use his timeouts. Just looking to get out of here.
An impressive win. I do think they will move up. Remember, Missouri lost. Got blown out today. Do think Ole Miss is going to move up? Sets up for a massive, massive game next Saturday night. I believe that is a night game already scheduled in Baton Rouge. And going to give the winner of that game just an excellent opportunity to bolster that resume and make their case as one of the potential playoff teams.
Yeah, that'll be ABC prime time. ABC 3:30 game is Texas, Oklahoma, and the ABC noon game will be South Carolina at Alabama, as Dart throws into the end zone trying to hit Prescorn. Boy, a little surprised that Dart's still in the game at this point. There's another injury. It's Matt Jones now shaken up, the backup to Henry Parrish, who left earlier. Just a little surprised that the starters or anybody that would get carries or touches anywhere near the first team offense would even be in the game at this point. They do have some of the backups in on the offensive line,
which would give even more reason, you would think, not to have Jackson Dart in the game.
and yeah, and some of that is because they have injuries to the starters. That's why backups are in. And you see Dart get dragged down, and then Matt Jones underneath Kyle Kennard. That did not look good. There's a leg pin there by Kennard, who was on top of his quarterback.
Enjoyed talking with Kyle Kennard yesterday. He's really stepped up, made a huge impact on the South Carolina defense. And for South Carolina, they got to go to Tuscaloosa next week, pick up the pieces and figure out how to get their season back on track as well.
Ole Miss going to go to 5-1. South Carolina will fall to 3-2.
One of the things going into this year, I was really high on Ole Miss. Had them making the playoff, had them getting to Atlanta, and it's because they're a complete team this year. It's not just about the high-powered offense, the defense as well, as we see today. Fewest points allowed in SEC games since 2015, but it's been all season against all their opponents. Pete Golding, he's got the personnel, he's got that side of the ball really dialed in. This is a complementary football team with what they have offensively and defensively.
And Howell is out to the 38, and that's the final play. This was an impressive performance by Ole Miss. And for Lane Kiffin, win number 100 in his 13th year as a collegiate head coach. And he goes to 39-16 in year 5 as the head coach at Ole Miss. Congratulations to Lane Kiffin. The Rebels with a nice bounce-back win on the road after losing to Kentucky last week. They'll head to Baton Rouge for a Saturday night game at ABC a week from tonight. Once again, our final score, Ole Miss 27, South Carolina 3. For Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pasch, saying so long from South Carolina.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ESPN.